Everyone, hello. How you guys all doing today? You guys doing great? You guys doing amazing? You guys doing awesome? Hopefully you guys doing great, awesome, amazing today because we have a very normal interview for you guys. This is super normal, nothing special about this. This is ordinary, nothing crazy. We just have a very nice, very professional maid joining us today. Just nothing crazy, nothing different. Just a maid coming on our show. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to this one because I think we're going to have a nice time to not have to worry about anything weird or surprising happening. I don't know. I think it's going to be cool. It'll be chill. You guys will like this. So let's see what our lovely maid has to say for herself and get to know her a little bit. See if they're ready. What? What do you mean, sus? No sus. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing?
Hello there. I'm doing very well. I hope you're having a wonderful evening yourself.
I am. I'm having a great evening. I think it's so good, so awesome. I was just telling my chat right now that we're having a very proper, very normal VTuber interview. Nothing different, nothing special. It's perfectly normal. Nothing weird. No, I don't see anything wrong with it. Chat, do you guys see anything weird about this? I think this is a pretty nice, beautiful maid here. It's going to be helping us out and get to know this stuff.
I know you have a lot of weird and wonderful people in the VTuber community in a great way. Like we have dragons and whatnot, but I don't think we have too many perfectly normal maids.
I know, right? We don't have very normal maids coming on our show very often, so it's nice to have just once not have to deal with being bitten by a yandere vampire or having people try and blow up my stage because they're dragons and they want to eat things, or some kind of god or goddesses that's trying to find out what's the meaning of life of us humans. I've had a lot of people on my show.
No, nothing like that. Just perfectly normal behavior here today.
Yep. Very proper, very nice. Very good. What? Cybernetic maiden for the future? What? Are you from the future?
No, I'm very contemporary actually. Very contemporary.
Very nice.
Perfectly normal robot maid, that's all. We're just a robot, that's all.
Yeah, no, what did you say?
Robot?
Oh,
Is that unusual?
Are you a robot? What?
Oh, yes, just a perfectly normal robot maid.
Wow,
all the duties that you would typically expect of a maid, cooking, cleaning, card games, calibration of heavy artillery, and conversation. Just to name a few.
Wait, what was the third part?
Card games?
Oh, Well,
Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is cool. I like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh's fun. Okay. Cool, awesome.
Oh yeah, I got back into it last year and it's kind of become the latest obsession.
Go for it. That sounds awesome. Well, thank you guys all for showing up. We are doing this fun little VTuber interview where we interview a new VTuber each and every week. Today, we have a totally amazing robot maid named Helm. Helm, how about you introduce yourself to the small amount of people who do not know who you are?
Certainly. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you all. My name is Helm-chan. Well, my full name is Helm-chan. Helm is perfectly acceptable as well. And I am a perfectly normal robot maid. At your service. Hope you're having a wonderful evening tonight.
Of course. Yeah, no, 100%. Like, what kind of maid duties do you do other than just, the normal stuff, right?
Basically just the normal stuff, honestly. Here around the manor, my jobs are the ones we'd think to be doing. Cleaning up the trash, doing some of the cooking, cleaning, bit of sewing occasionally. Just the usual things you would expect of a maid, really.
Yeah, normal stuff, definitely 100%.
Normal stuff, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on my show. I would love to get to know you more, and who knows, maybe you can help me clean up some of the stuff over around here. I know it's been,
It does certainly seem like you could benefit from it. I'm not gonna be mean, but...
No, it's okay. So you're being truthful, And to be honest, literally yesterday, we had a peanut butter and jelly VTuber here. Freaking awesome person, but he kind of made a mess, and a lot of things are sticky. Yeah.
I'm going to assume that that's in a wholesome manner.
Why do everyone not think? Why do Okay, so he told me about this too. Why would someone think something non-wholesome is just a peanut butter and jelly VTuber?
Well, you know, when you're talking about someone leaving their sticky fluids all over the place, it does raise a question as to whether or not we just need to bring in a black light to make sure the place is safe, you know?
True. Just do not check the couch. Don't check.
I see.
Yeah, I got that. I got that used.
I see. Understandable.
Yeah. So don't worry about that. You can blacklight everything else, not the couch, because it'll turn white.
Okay, I'm going to simply choose to not ask any questions about that.
No
Probably
worries.
for the best.
Well, I'm going to have to do this without my notes in front of me because someone redeemed me without glasses on. So now I'm going to be all blind for this whole rest of the thing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining in. We're going to be doing a fun little interview with Helm Chan. And for those who do not know or have not been to one of our shows, we'll be asking 15 questions to our lovely guests here. And these questions can go into like how they first got started, some tidbits of information about themselves and what they got to do to get started, the upcoming games looking forward to. We'll get into that model and the design thoughts. And we'll also get some fun tidbit of information like the lores, thoughts on the VTube communities, and some fun facts. It's gonna be a cool one. You guys are gonna like it. It's gonna be really cool. Also, if you guys want to tribute to the interview, you guys can ask as many questions you want as long as it stays within TOS, and we will try to answer it the best we can. Now, if you guys would like to tribute to the interview, but you don't know what to ask, there's actually a redeem that you can hit that spins a wheel. A random question will pop up, and Helm Champ is required by law to answer it.
It is true. As a maid, I am legally obligated to conduct any duties that are asked of me.
Exactly.
Within reason.
Within reason. TOS, guys. TOS.
Yes,
So
yes.
now I can't read. Her amazing bug eyes. I have amazing bug eyes. Do I have amazing bug eyes? My eyes amazing. Do I have special eyes? If you know what I mean.
Look with your special eyes.
Look, it's my brand. I love that, Maid. I love that. That was so good. It was so good.
We just called them jokes back then.
Yeah, they were just funny things. The funny things on the internet. I remember them. Good times. Yeah, I can tell that we're like around the same age. We're definitely around the same age.
I get that impression, yeah.
Well, you get that impression from other people, I bet. I referred that meme about the brand last night. What? You just saw the meme about that? Was it the Mass Effect one? Is that the Mass Effect one? Is the best one. I just love it.
I know the exact one you're talking about. I know that exact video you're talking about.
It's so good. I love it. I would love to do a recreation of that. You know, just like have googly eyes with this. Hey, thank you for the bits. Is that San? Is that Sen-chan? Hello. Hi, Zane. Hello. It's great to see you. Thank you for the 10 bits. I appreciate it. Also, thank you for the follow. Man, do you know how hard it is to read things without glasses on? Who redeemed that freaking? Who redeemed that glasses off? Viku.
Yeah, technically speaking, you could make an argument that by wearing glasses, it actually makes you a cyborg.
Oh wait, what? Am I a cyborg? Guys,
well,
dude.
Think about it, right? Like you're a human that is augmenting the failings of their flesh using technology.
Guys, dude.
That therefore makes you a cyborg.
I'm freaking the guy from Cyberpunk. I'm V from Cyberpunk. I'm just get me mods. Mod me. I need to be juiced. My first one is literally this guy right here. I love it. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell that to everyone when everyone says, do you need glasses? Like, no. I just need to get my cybernetics in place into my face. That's all I need to do.
You just got to hit them with the Deus Ex Human Revolution. My vision's augmented.
My vision's augmented. Greedy. Whoa, I've been a cyborg this whole time? Right? We've been cyborgs. We've been cyborgs all the time.
You didn't even know it.
I love it. Let's go. Fun fact, is a bit of a streamer. What? San-chan's a bit of a streamer? What? It's almost like she's been on my show before and we interviewed both each other at the same time. It's crazy.
Sane is a streamer? I'm not sure. This sounds like fake news. I don't believe
what? Sane's what? You know what? I can see that. Definitely.
Of course. Love you, Sane.
We love you, Sane. We love you. We actually might be working together on this really cool collab very soon. So I'm looking forward to it. So,
Oh, nice.
cool. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. We have an idea. Oh, I thought of this idea, and I want to see if people would like to join in. I just need to find one more person who would like to join in. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. They just need to know a lot about anime and opening cutscenes on anime. That's all I need to know.
Ah. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be too good at that myself. I like anime, but I don't find as much time to watch it as I would like. I've got a long list of animes I want to watch.
True, though. True.
And like a very short list of animes I've actually got round to watch.
You know what? Very fair, very fair. And I'm finding harder and harder times to do that. Very, very difficult.
Yeah, so.
But hey, first spin of the day was from Sam, I believe. Opening, whoa! Opening really, oh! Openings really. It's gonna be so good. So I can't see it until. Okay, cool. I like this actually question. This is actually one of my favorite questions to ask on this list. If you were not Helm-chan and Maid, a totally normal Maid, what other kind of VTuber would you like to be?
Well, funnily enough, it's actually not. I've got an answer to this right away. I'd probably go for something angelic.
Oh.
I do really like angel motifs, like feathery wings, halos. I like nice things. I like good things. A lot of people, and there's no shame in this or anything. A lot of people like the edgy stuff, like the demons or the vampires or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've always been the opposite though. I always like just be like nice, holy things. Not necessarily holy like in the religious sense, but just like the very goodliness. My power fantasy is being a giant hero that saves the world and everyone loves, and that's just great.
Yeah, well, like
something like angelic would be quite nice.
I can see that. I get you have the like Joan of Arc vibe, in my opinion. You like to be good, but you also like really strong kind of situation. So yeah, like what's that say? You'd be like a final boss in the Final Fantasy game,
Final boss. I don't know if I have final boss energy, but maybe.
Well, like you do fit the the archetype of like a maid, or like the whole like I'm proper and really cool, but then also you might have the whole like of innocence about you, that you might have like, oh wait, is that something that I'm not supposed to do? I just want to be a good person.
Yeah, the are we the baddies moment?
Are we the bad people? Are we the bad people? I know. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, hey, that's a good question to start off with. I'm going to ask you my question right now. Hello, dog. Cool. We'll get with the first question of the night, and that is, why and when did you get started with streaming?
So, I almost feel like my answer to this one's not going to be that exciting, because it's not like I had some grand realization of wanting to do this, or like real like huge motivation, like I need this to kind of make ends meet or anything. It's nothing like so deep as that. Literally, I can answer that with a name, and that name is Yomi Quinley.
Oh.
Yomi Quinley is my best friend, and I mean that. I don't mean that in the sense of, oh my god, she's like totes my bestie for real. No, like actually, she is my best friend. I've known her we've known each other for more than half our lives, and because of that, like when she said she wanted to do the streaming, I was like, full put my support behind her. And when I saw how much fun she was having with it, I'm like, wow, like she's having like a blast with this. Like obviously she's doing great with it as well, but it just looks like she's having so much fun. I want to try that. And that was kind of really all it was. I was just like, this seems like fun. I want to give this a try. I want to see if I can maybe manage this as well. And I think I'm doing okay for myself so far.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely see that. That's so cool. You got inspiration from someone else, and you wanted to try something out. I like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's really cool. And
it's always been like a real inspiration for me in general. Like I've always said, you pardon me for just gushing about my best friend.
Gush as much as you like. Yeah. Gush it.
Yeah, like Yomi has been like. Yomi is the hardest working person I've ever met.
Yomi's great.
Almost to her detriment, I'll be entirely honest. It's kind of a bit of a meme among her community that when Yomi says she's taking the day off and she's resting, she'll come back the next day and be like, I did it, guys. I rested. I only made 5 redeems and 2 videos. It's like,
5 redeems, 2
that's
videos.
Not resting. That's literally the opposite of resting.
It's not resting. Yeah, Yomi is amazing. Actually, I've been trying to get her on my show, and finally, we've made some room, and we'll be getting her on my show in March. So I'm really looking
heck
forward
yeah,
to it.
definitely. Awesome.
And and you know, for how awesome she is and how much work like she puts into it, I'm going to actually literally request that day off just so I can have as much time for her because she puts so much work and effort into her schedule. And like I tried to get her like 2 months ago, but it didn't work out, and we couldn't do anything for the next 2 months because how busy she was. So like I will.
Yeah, Yomi really
Yomi's
does,
great.
put
Yomi's
herself
great.
out.
Yes. So I definitely will 100% try this better a lot this time. Definitely.
Yeah.
Also, saying is her volume a little bit better this time? I don't know. I changed it up a little bit and made her a little bit louder. I want to make sure you guys can hear her. So that's good. It's good. I know sometimes it's hard to.
I can don't mind that, you know.
It's kind of hard to hear her under her helmet.
Well, it's funny that you say that actually because you called it a helmet. I'm actually not wearing a helmet.
What? Helmcham
It's a
is
very-
not wearing a helmet? What?
Correct. It's a very common
What?
misconception. I get it all the time.
What?
I'm never offended when it happens because it happens all the time. My name is Helm-chan because it looks like I'm wearing a helmet. I'm actually not though. What you see as a helmet is actually my head.
What? I was deceived. I cannot
Yeah.
believe it. I cannot believe it. Now you're going to tell me you're not actually a maid.
Oh no, 100% a maid. 100% a maid. That part's authentic.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Okay. I'm going to take her head
We're
solid.
not complete false advertising.
Ah, yeah. No, 100%. Okay, I can see that. Good. Yeah, I feel like you will have a hard time stealing her head because I heard something about rockets a little bit ago.
My head is technically removable,
Oh.
but only in the same way that a human's head is technically removable.
Oh.
Yes.
So yeah, I would probably not try and take her head away. Definitely 100%. Also, someone asked if you're from the Netherlands. Are you a Netherlands robot?
Netherlands? No, that's a new one. I've been asked a few different places I've been from before, but no, I'm not in the Netherlands. I am in the unending hellscape known as the United Kingdom, specifically England.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely hear the English accent over there.
Yes, it's a bit less pronounced when it comes from a robot, admittedly.
A little bit. Well, how about this? Can you say a very specific word?
Is it bottle of water?
Yeah, there we go. She said the thing. Ah.
Funnily enough, where I am from is actually pretty much the exact place where you will hear people say bottle of water.
I love it. That's so good.
So that's not even me having to stress my accent that hard.
I love it. I wish there's something that you can make me say that makes me sound like a American.
Well, whenever I think of Americans, I always think of like, let's be honest, it's the old tropes: McDonald's,
Yeah.
monster trucks,
Monster trucks, yeah.
buying a rifle in Walmart, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, and you can do that. You can definitely do that. All those things, 100% true.
Oh yeah, I want to go back to America. I went there many years ago when I was at a wee helmet. Yes, we little Helm-chan. But we were doing all of the like the Disney stuff, all the super touristy bits, and it was a great time, like fantastic holiday. But obviously, I didn't really get to see much of the real side of America.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to see the real
side. One day, but
you
but scheduling and finances.
Yeah, you don't 100%. But yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about that. Just keep enjoying your place. You'll like it. And when you ever visit, go to the cool places of America. Like
there's one thing that I specifically want to do when I go to America.
Where?
And I'm probably going to say this, and you're going to react like this is a really mundane thing by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to a medieval times.
Like a Renaissance fair?
Someone I know went to a medieval times, and he told me that he could not stop laughing because you've got all these people going around doing the whole, like medieval armor, the jousting, like there's the guy who's the king or whatever. And then at the very end, according to him, a guy ran in on a horse, waving the American flag, going, "God bless America," which is just the funniest thing in the world to me.
I can definitely see that 100%. That actually sounds great. I love that. I love seeing knights with American eagles on them. It is so funny.
I just like knights in general. It's very, very good aesthetic. We don't have enough knight VTubers, I think.
Right. That'd be so cool. Cool. I need to close my door because because my dog is keeping coming in here. So I'm going to have you distract chat, okay? No fires. I'm pretty sure no fires, no fires, no fires.
I can promise there will be no fires. I actually don't
Awesome.
even have any means of causing fires.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Then I have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. So, chat, are you familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh monster known as Frog the Jam? He's actually my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monster. The reason being is because Frog the Jam is not a frog card. In the Japanese version of the game, the frog was originally called, Frog the Jam was originally called Kairu Slime, which does translate to frog slime. Later, however, they made a frog archetype called Gaiaru, which is like Kairu but spelt slightly differently. And because it's spelt differently to how Frog the Jam is spelt, it means that he couldn't be included on any of the frog cards for the longest time. Because of that, it meant that there is a period in Yu-Gi-Oh's history where an awful lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that were frog support had to include the phrase, "Accept Frog the Jam." I do not accept Frog the Jam, I accept Frog the Jam. He will always be a frog in my heart. Chan, did you watch the Yu-Gi-Oh animated video with the monsters? Oh, the anime? Yeah, definitely. Yu-Gi-Oh anime it's an anime. I'm not going to say it's good, but it's fun. Welcome back, Trick.
Hi, welcome back. Yeah, no, I heard a little bit about it. Yes, support the frog. Support the frog.
Yes, we always accept Frog the Jam.
Always accept it. We all accept it here in chat too. We always accept it. 100%.
I actually had to get it imported. It's not a good card. It is a terrible card, objectively bad. But because it was only released in America, I had to get Yomi to buy me 3 copies and send it over here just so I could play it. It's not good. It's terrible. I paid £5 for a barely playable card, but it's always worth it for the meme.
Always worth it. Always worth it. I like that. You know, I know that feeling. I do that for my retro games too. I know the feeling.
Oh yeah. Some of those can be really expensive, right? I found out recently. I was watching some YouTube videos about Pokemon. I did not realize how games that I would not have considered expensive are really expensive now. Like apparently, like Heart Gold and Soul Silver goes for like $100.
It's actually not that much, actually.
I mean, it's a lot when I think about the fact that I bought that for like £40 back in the day. Like,
no.
I wouldn't have expected to make a profit on that game when it's not even. I was about to say it's not even that old. Let me fact check myself on that because I'm gonna find out that Heart Gold is a lot older than I think it is and feel like I'm gonna crumble to dust.
Yeah, you might just age ourselves.
2010. That's about what I expect actually.
Yeah, so
Not too far off. Yeah. My favourite one for inflicting the curse of aging upon people is to bring up my favourite 22-year-old Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy X.
Wow, what?
Yeah. Final Fantasy X is 22 years old. You would not think so, but it is.
22 years old? Really? 10?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you would think, like.
I remember that first coming out though.
Yeah, PS2.
22.
One of the first RPGs that had like full voicing in it.
Ah, yeah. You just. My back hurts from that comment. Oh my god. Jeez.
Thankfully, I get to upgrade my body every few years, so
yeah.
Why about that?
See, I wish I could do that. The only cybernetics I can upgrade is literally my face.
Well, I mean, you can replace your body if you're brave enough.
True, but also I can't afford it, so I'm just gonna keep it with.
Yeah, true. American healthcare and all that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Oh my god, you're not wrong. Help-Chan, did you watch? Oh yeah, you already watched the animated video Masters.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime it's bonkers. The original one is so funny because I mean I don't know how much you're familiar with the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! But it originally just started as a Magic the Gathering ripoff, literally.
Oh, okay, so I can see that.
Yeah, so the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series was just a series about gaming in general. It wasn't about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game because that didn't exist yet. And then at one point in the manga, he invented this game, Duel Monsters, which eventually became the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. And everyone loved that. It was like, this is amazing, we want more of this. So that's eventually what modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Became. But because of this, the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, the rules weren't really defined yet, so loads of just absolute nonsense happens that is never explained and people just fly with it.
I love it.
The favourite meme of the community, I think, is in one episode where a character commands his monster to quote unquote attack the moon. Because by destroying the moon, it makes the tide go in, and so all the aquatic monsters can become attacked. It was such a meme, they made it into an actual card eventually called Attack the Moon. They do not want you having your glasses tonight, do they?
Right? It's like, Miku, it's a lot of points. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? It's a lot of points you're using up right now. I'll try and keep this off a lot longer now. But yeah, no, I remember like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! And so to be honest, I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Yu-Gi-Oh! was really cool when I was a kid.
I have an abnormal, what's the word? Obsession with it.
Alright, cool. Which is good. Go for it. I really did like it when I was a kid, and I really loved watching the TV shows, and I loved playing with my friends and stuff like that. But then it just became a little bit too much for me. When literally there was card games on motorcycles that was going on, that's when I kind of lost it, you know?
I will go to bat for the card games on motorcycles anime specifically, because I watched that anime in full, and I watched it. I started watching it as ironically, you know. I'm like, haha, I'm gonna watch the silly card games on motorcycles anime. This will be fun. This will be a goof. I got 5 episodes in, and then I realized that somewhere along the lines, I was watching it unironically.
Oh.
Genuinely, of all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, that is actually probably the best one, but a lot of people don't watch it because they only know about it because, haha, card games on motorcycles.
You know what? No, 100%. Well, I just know from the Bridge series. Like, that's how I knew about it. The Bridge series was hilarious. I love the Bridge series. So good.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
that little Kugo is still doing that, albeit slow.
is he still doing that? Because I met him.
Oh, have you? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I went to one of the anime conventions where he was at, and I was able to shake his hand and say, "Hey, dude, I love your content." It was me and my brother. We watched it when we were kids. He was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And I think I couldn't afford his merchandise, but I like took one of his like stickers or something like that.
That's still really cool, though. I've never got to meet like anyone. Well, the closest I ever came to meeting a content creator that I follow is back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. At a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament I went to last April, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creator that I follow, a guy called MBT, he was there. I didn't speak with him. I saw him while I was on my way to my second round, and I was like within touching distance of him. But by the time I'd processed that it was him, I was kind of already walking past him, and I think he was talking to someone anyway. So he has no idea I exist, but I know. But I was like literally right next to him for like 5 seconds. That's the closest I've ever went to that.
Oh yeah, no, like I've had random situations where I actually met some people like that. I think one of the biggest ones I had was I was this close to getting a picture and a handshake with freaking Reggie from Nintendo.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
because
wonderful.
It was so cool because it was during the time when I used to work at GameStop, and at GameStop you had to go to manager conferences, and each and every year you go fly out to different places, and they pretty much just like, hey, these are the games that will be coming out, these are the games you need to focus on selling, be a better manager. That's pretty much what the conference was about. But we get to meet. But sometimes really important people come to these conferences saying, hey, GameStop, we love you guys, keep doing awesome. As time went on, we stopped seeing those people for obvious reasons. But for 1 year, right before Reggie like literally stepped down from being Nintendo president, he came to one of those things, and I literally walked by him, and I was like, oh, I missed him. Now there's too many people like crowding around him trying to get pictures. I'll get him next year.
And then next year never rolled around.
Yep, and then that was the year that he stepped down. So that was literally the only time I could have seen him.
Well, I mean, at least you've been in the same room as him, which is more than I can claim to have.
Yeah, true. Alright, cool, awesome. Well, hey, I think that's really cool. I think it would be cool to see more and more people like that, but I like it. But you'll probably tell me more about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff as time goes on. I just know this. I used to play a video game back on the PlayStation era, and it was like a really cool Yu-Gi-Oh! Game that I kept, and I really wanted to keep playing it. But I can't remember what happened to it.
PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2?
Well, what? It was PlayStation 1.
Forbidden Memories. That game is kind of infamous.
Oh, really? Why?
So it comes from that same era where the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules were not really defined yet.
Okay.
So in Yu-Gi-Oh! There are things like tribute summoning, where the high-level monsters you have to tribute low-level monsters to summon them.
Yeah.
Those weren't rules yet at that point in the game. So in Forbidden Memories, you can literally just get the Blue Eyes White Dragon and just slap it on the board, and that's legal. So it's kind of like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but also not playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It also has a weird system where you can fuse cards together just by playing them from the same time in your hand. And the rules for the fusion are really bizarre. Like, sometimes if you fuse like a Thunder and a Dragon, you'll get Thunder Dragon. Sometimes you'll get Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, which is one of the best cards in the game. It's also brutally unfair. The opponent literally cheats. Like, you have 5 cards in your hand, and when it shows your opponent's turn, it shows you like the back of their hand where they've got 5 cards. But apparently, the final opponents actually draw like half their deck. Yeah.
Oh my god!
There's some fantastic videos about it where it's very infamous as a speedrun game because it's so RNG heavy that you could have like a world record pace, get to the final door, and just get hard walled for literally hours.
Wow.
I don't know that I'd call it a good game, but I would certainly call it an interesting game.
You know what? I see.
Those can be, more fun in their own right.
Makes sense. Okay, well, it could be fun. It could be interesting. Maybe I'll try and find that game and play it again because it's been a while since I played it. Looks like we got another spin for you, so let's go get the spin.
Let's see what we got.
Get the spins. Cool. Let's see. I still want to be able to see it. Someone with my glasses. I can't see. Alright, this one says, oh, favorite joke. Do you have like a favorite dumb joke that you have?
Okay.
Something?
Actually, yes. I love terrible jokes.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
So I've got 2 answers for this. One of them is my favorite one to torture Yomi with specifically.
Oh, Yomi specifically.
Yes. So I love dumb jokes and I love dumb puns. And there was a brief period where I was saying so many terrible puns that Yomi was kind of like, jokingly getting mad about it. And I latched onto this one pun that is my go-to for a terrible pun. And it's not even a good one. It's, did you hear about the fire at the circus? It was intense.
I love that one.
Whenever I torture Yomi with that, she knows it's coming. Because I always be like, Yomi, hey, Yomi.
Hey, Yomi.
I always deliberately draw out the delivery of it and act like it's really funny, even though we both know it's not.
Hey, guess what? Did you hear about the circus fire? She's like, I don't want to hear about the circus fire.
It's like the car crash in slow motion. You can see it coming, but you're powerless to stop it.
I love dad jokes like that. They're my favorite. They're so good. They age so well. Okay, here.
But my other favorite jokes. So I love jokes that have really, really long setups for really bad payoffs. That's my other guilty pleasure when it comes to jokes. So this is a bit of a long. You don't mind? It's a bit of a long one, dear.
Sorry. Say that one more time.
You don't mind if it's a bit of a long one, do you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So this is not my joke. I did not make this one up. But it is one of my favorite ones. So, in high school, this was originally from a 4chan green text one, you know. So it's from the storyteller's perspective. So in high school, the storyteller had some foreign exchange students come over. There were 2 twins, a boy called Ving and a girl called Ling. The author doesn't remember where they were from, some vaguely Asian country, somewhere like that. He gets on quite well with the boy. They become friends. He copies his homework every now and then. And one day, Ving says to him, "I've heard that you're allowed to change your name legally over here, and it's not too difficult. Is that true?" And the storyteller's like, "Yeah, I think you just go down to the local office and fill out a form." And he's like, "Well, that's great, because I want to change my name because, frankly, I get bullied a lot because my name is Ving, and that's apparently a very silly name over here." So the storyteller agrees, "Okay, yeah, we'll go down to the office and we'll get it changed." The sister Ling overhears this, and she comes over and says, "Ving, you can't change your name. It's been our family for generations. Father will be devastated." And Ving's like, "No, I want to change my name. It's getting me bullied here. I want to, blend in better. I want to change it." And she's like, "Well, I'm going to change your mind. But I'm going to come with you to see this through either way." So on the way down, the storyteller asks Ving, "Have you had a thought for what you want to change your name to?" And he says, well, I want a name that seems appropriate. I don't want a name that's going to like be out of place. So I'm going to go with Lee, you know, because you've got like lots of Asian people called Lee, and Bruce Lee is pretty cool. We like Bruce Lee. So I'm going to go with Lee. So they get down to the office, and the lady at the office is like, it's very simple. There is a $50 form. You just fill that in, and it gets sent off, and in a couple of weeks, your name will be changed. So Ving gets the form, starts filling it in, and he gets halfway through, and his hand starts shaking, and he starts crying. And he's like, no, Ling, you're right, I can't do it. The name means too much to our family. Dad will be so upset. I can't do this. I'm not going to go through with it. And the lady at the office says, well, unfortunately, you do have to pay the fee because you filled the form in halfway through. You pay for the form, not just the admin. So Ling steps in. She says, it's okay, Ving. I'm so glad that you're not going to change your name, that I will pay the fee for you. So she gets out her purse, opens the purse, and at that moment, the door to the office swings open. And in steps the dad, big Asian man, sunglasses, Uncle Sam hat, Stars and Stripes shirt. He's gone full American. He steps in, points towards the kids, and he goes, don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. That's it. Super long setup, not a good payoff, but it's one of my favorite jokes.
That's a good one. I can see that. That's a good one. Don't stop believing.
You haven't got to pretend. It's a good one. I know it's terrible.
It was super terrible. You know, it's almost like the grapes joke. You know, like you go to a hardware store and says,
I don't know if I'm familiar with that one.
It's so stupid. You want to hear it? It's really dumb. It's really dumb. This is. I haven't heard of this joke. I haven't remembered this joke since like playground days back in elementary school. But it was like a kid goes into a hardware store and goes up to one of the workers and says, "Hey, do you have any grapes?" And the guy says, "No, this is a hardware store. We don't have any grapes." And then he was like, "Okay." And he comes back the next day and says, "Hey, do you have any grapes?" He's like, "No, we do not have grapes. It's a hardware store. Obviously, we don't have any grapes." And then he's like, "Okay." So he leaves. Comes back another day saying, "Hey, do you have any grapes?" And the guy's like, "Dude, we do not have any grapes. If you come back again tomorrow, I'm going to staple your mouth shut if you ask about grapes again." So then he leaves and he comes back the next day and says, "Hey, do you have any staples?" And he goes, "Oh, so we just sold out." "Oh, cool. Do you have any grapes?"
Okay. Yeah, okay. I have heard a variation of that one.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. I remember hearing that like long time ago. So it's like those kind of build up ones, you know,
Yeah.
that you build up all the time.
I heard was a guy that goes into the hardware store, and every time he goes there, he bangs on the desk. So eventually the guy says, "If you keep banging on the desk, I'm going to nail your hands to the desk next time." And then he asks, "Have you got any nails?"
It's like, "Oh no,
so
I
same sort of payoff, you know.
Yeah, but his next face, and then he goes.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good. It's good. It's a soap opera. It is. You know, singing in the shower is fun until you get soap in your mouth. What? What kind? It's a soap opera. I read that wrong. What is the hardest part of being a vegan? I don't know. Well, what is the hard part?
I think I know this joke.
I don't know it. I must have missed it.
I think the hardest part of being a vegan is not telling everyone you're a vegan.
Oh, it's not telling everyone you're vegan.
I think that's the joke. I know there's one where it's like, how do you find a vegan at a barbecue? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
They'll tell you. True. Awesome. Well, let's get into the second question of the night, and that is, what do you like the most about being a VTuber gamer?
Well, I like it because it gives me a reason to finish games, because I have a very bad track record for actually finishing video games. I have a huge list of games I've played, and a very, very short list of games I've actually finished. Considering that most of my favorite games are JRPGs, that's possibly not that surprising, but I find it very hard to pick up a JRPG after I've set it down. So, you know, doing gaming on stream, it's great because I've got chat there to keep me company if I get frustrated. And also, it's just nice to be able to show off games that are maybe a bit more obscure or a bit less talked about. For example, I recently did a game that I've actually never heard anyone else talk about. I'm sure it's not that obscure, but a game called Steam World Quest: Hand of Gilgamesh. It's a deck builder RPG with a card battle system. Really great little game. I've never heard anyone talk about it, so it was wonderful to just be able to share that with all my guests and, you know, expose people to a game that they possibly wouldn't have heard of before.
I like that. I like that. So you play a lot of retro games then, huh?
A little bit of everything. So my usual schedule at the moment, it wasn't a plan, it's just kind of how things have ended up. So far, recently, we kind of do, one day we'll do like an RPG, one day we play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and one day we do platformers. So we've done like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, we're doing at the moment, and we've done every Final Fantasy game 1 through 4. We're going to be starting 5 next week, actually.
Nice. That's so cool. I love to see that. I love to see that. I might have to dip in and try it and check that out. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to have you there.
No, of course. But yeah, no, I do like the fact that like you get to introduce people to games that they normally wouldn't actually know about, and I like that. I like that. That's what I like about streaming like that. And then also
like
about
everyone knows like Final Fantasy 7, you know, everyone knows about the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14 with its free trial, etc., etc., etc. But not a lot of people talk about Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 5 or even Final Fantasy 9, which is actually my favorite one.
nice.
So it's kind of nice to just expose people to those a bit more, especially because like these games are not the easiest to kind of get hold of these days. Like they did release the Pixel remaster, but it's still not like they're not like hype games, you know. People aren't generally hyped for. Oh heck yeah, time to play Final Fantasy 4. I'm sure that I know it's a loved game, but it's not like
something to be
it's
looking
not in the
forward to.
popular zeitgeist, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, not many people are actively trying to look forward those kind of things. So I definitely see
Exactly, yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I can see that. I can see that. Definitely. But yeah, no, it's kind of cool to like check out those kind of things because you're right. Some people might actually be kind of curious about something, and then they'll look it up and they'll see someone streaming it, and that's how it'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to check that out. And then they notice it's a freaking maid with a awesome freaking robot head, and then they want to stick around and watch more.
Yeah, come for the game, stay for the maid, or vice versa.
Oh yes, come for the maid, stay for the game. I love it.
Exactly.
Oh, what is pasta? What are you saying?
I got this. Angry teacher puts a ruler at a student and says on the end of the ruler is an idiot. The student replies, which end?
That's a good one. It's a good one. It's a good one. I like that. Nice. Cool. Awesome. All right. So you are a robot maid VTuber.
Correct.
There's a lot of robots VTubers out there, aren't there?
There are a decent number of them, yeah. One thing that I think is great with like robots when it comes to VTubing is there's so many different ways you can take the concept. Like you can take it in the more kind of mecha musume way, where it's kind of more, you know, you look mostly human, but you've got like a kind of mecha armor going on. Or you can take it more in the more like opposite extent of the spectrum, where you're more like giant, you know, super robots or Megazord or something. I like to think I kind of hit that middle ground in there.
Yep, I can see that. Well, what else do you bring to the VTuber community? It helps you stand out a little bit.
That's a good question. I like to think that I'm pretty good at just kind of keeping the vibes up and keeping flow. As someone that does suffer from a decent amount of actual social anxiety, I'll be entirely honest. When I'm streaming, because I'm the only voice in the room, as it were, you know, like we've got chat, but I can't hear chat. Because of that, I am very conscious of when, you know, there's a lull in the energy if I'm being quiet or something. So I always like to try and keep things going and like, you know, talking about this, that, and the other, just bringing random things up just to try and keep things entertaining. Yeah, see, I hate to keep bringing her up, but she really is a big source of inspiration for me. Yomi mentioned this once, which I think is a fantastic point, which I think any VTuber should take on board, streamer even, not just VTuber, should take on board, which is you need to consider the idea that any moment of your stream could be someone's first impression of you. And if their first impression of you is me sitting here at the screen, staring into the camera, being completely quiet, they ain't gonna stick around. They're gonna get bored, they're gonna leave and be, oh, okay. They might think it's a neat model, but they're not gonna stick around just for sitting here watching me stare at the screen. So I'm always very conscious of that. And I think I do a pretty good job of keeping the energy up and keeping things active, even when chat might be a bit quieter sometimes.
I can see that. Okay, cool. That's so cool. I like that. There's a good mindset to go into. It's that every single time you stream, it could be someone's first impression. So you have to always keep up the energy.
First impressions are always the hardest.
Yep, they're always the one. They paint the whole picture.
There's actually science about it where humans are, I forget the exact like term for it either, but humans are predisposed towards not changing their mind. Like there's actual science behind it. That if someone decides they don't like you, you might eventually persuade them to like you, but it's going to be way harder than if their first impression of you is that they do like you.
True. 100%. Always make good impressions. That's what I say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you only get one chance.
I'm trying to read up chat.
Thank you. She's leaving a great first impression on us. Oh, thank you, Vicky.
Best impression. Look at you being all adorable. I love it. That's so good. What's that say? I warn you, he's a what? If you go close to him, his hands are no. I wash my hands.
I've been to Yu-Gi-Oh events. I can deal with sweaty.
But I'm not sweaty.
Funny thing actually, when that tournament I mentioned I went to last year, one of my friends actually works in the office at the venue. And he literally said to me afterwards, that was the worst smelling event we've ever held here.
Yeah. I've been to some anime expos.
Kind of, mortal enemies.
Yeah, that's why I love the cosplayers who walks around with like cleaning supplies on them. It's hilarious. It's so good. Hey, you can put your glasses back on. Hey, thank you. Not gonna lie, she sounds like a honest and fair maiden, right? Just look at her. She be honest.
Very honest, of course. Maid has to be honest.
Always have to be honest.
A dishonest maid does not keep their job for very long.
Exactly. You have to always be honest. Always be honest. She'll definitely get the job. Cool. Awesome. All right, cool. Well, the next one I wanted to ask you about is more of just like a little bit of a treat for your fans, and that is any games you're looking forward to streaming this year.
Well, I don't tend to schedule things out too far in advance. A lot of my scheduling is kind of very spontaneous. Literally at the end of our last RPG, people were asking, what are we going to be doing next? And I was like, good question. Let's figure it out. But there is one game that I don't know whether it will be this year or not. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. There is one game I am very much looking forward to streaming at some point, and it very much falls under that category of obscure game that no one talks about. It is an old game for the PlayStation 1 called The Unholy War. It's not particularly like AAA game, but it is one of my most like treasured games. Myself and Lord Helm. Lord Helm is kind of he is my master, but also my father. It's a completely innocent thing. There's nothing sinister. It's just that robots have different relationships. You can't equate them the same. But Lord Helm and I used to play this when I was a wee Helmlet, so it's got a very special place in my processor. But it's also just a game that I wish people talked about more, because it's in a genre of game that I don't think actually exists anymore. So it's a strategy game where you've got like hexagons and you move your units about the map. But when the units meet each other, you go into a real-time arena battle and actually have a fight. So you've got the aspect of the strategy, but also the aspect of the combat. So you can make up for being bad at one by being good at the other. And I think that's a really neat genre that, unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, doesn't really exist anymore. The last game in that genre that I'm aware of was kind of Xbox era, and it didn't have net play. And I think something like that would be amazing if it had net play these days.
Right?
So
that sounds cool.
Yeah, I'd love to get a chance to try that out on stream and just to expose people to it. Because it's a game that I am probably the only person on the planet for whom it's one of their favorite games, and I want to share it with more people.
Do it, share it to the people. Like I definitely have games like that. Like I know what's a obscure game that I have that I don't think a lot of people know about. That's a good question. Oh well, I don't want to waste any more time. But yeah, no, I do have some games on that. I would love to look into and see if there's anyone else knows about it. Oh man, now I'm actually thinking about it. Because a lot of the games I like a lot are games that are pretty popular. You know, like people like already know about it. Like Custom Robo. You probably know about that game, right?
I know of that one. I've never played it, but I do know
it's really good. It's really good. Definitely a good GameCube game.
I don't think that one got localized here, actually, now I think about it.
Really? Dang, you should play it. If you can, definitely play it.
Europe is absolutely suffering. Or it used to be. It's better now. But kind of the PS2, PS1 era, being in Europe was suffering. My main exhibit for this, are you familiar with Xenosaga?
Yeah, I know Xeno.
Yeah, so you know it's like a 3-part trilogy, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
We only got one of them localized here in England,
Really?
and it was part 2.
Huh.
They localized the middle part of the trilogy and no other part.
Really? So you just jump in the middle of it?
Yeah.
So
I never owned it myself, but from what I understand, it is really one of those games where it, as far as from what I've been told, it does kind of pick up right where the first one left off. So you're going to be completely clueless of what's going on.
yeah.
The only thing I can think of is maybe back then they were thinking, oh well, you know, Final Fantasy, they don't go on one after the other, right? So maybe Xenosaga's the same. We'll just finalize and localize it on the cheap.
Just throw that on there. You should be good, right?
Yeah,
no
why
one,
not,
no one. Yeah. Well, can't you like order it from America?
Problem is that that generation of hardware is all region locked.
Oh
it wasn't
yeah.
until the PS3 where things started being region free. And the really frustrating part is Nintendo decided that their handhelds were not going to be region locked until exactly the 3DS. Which is annoying because there's a lot of 3DS games I'd like to own from Japan, which I can't because I wouldn't play on my European DS.
Wow, that's lame. That's lame. I'm so sorry. Well,
yeah, it is what it is. I might even just one day get a Japanese 3DS just to import some of them.
do it, dude. I'm actually one day it's been my dream to go to Japan and like buy some retro game consoles there. It'd be so cool because they keep in really good condition.
Japan this year, funnily enough.
Lucky.
Yeah,
I'm so
went
envy.
about 5 years ago, and we've been trying to get back over there, but you know, certain events, global events, kind of make that difficult.
Makes sense.
So we finally managed to pin down like some time to do it, and I will just say this: if you think you're going to have a fun time in Japan, you're going to love it. It's the best place I've ever been on holiday.
I want to go. Funds. I'm still trying to save up.
Yeah, no, of course. I hope you get the chance to, because it really is just like.
It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. I know it will. I just need to find the time, and also like I just got a new job, and like I just moved into this house. You know, it's so much stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll get the time to though. It's wonderful. The thing that caught me off guard was how clean everything was over there.
Oh, I bet.
Like, I mean, over here. Okay, so I live in the general vicinity of London. That's not doxing myself. That's a huge area.
Trust me, I have no idea where London is, so you totally good on that part.
That's fair. But the London Underground is very like the underground train system is almost famously filthy. Like it's disgusting. When we went to Japan and we got on the trains, we were literally stunned when we got off. And at the station, there was a guy there at the station who was standing at the bottom of the escalator with a sponge to clean the handrail. I've literally never seen someone cleaning an escalator in my life. And in Japan, we saw it about 4 times.
Wow, they are really clean. Jeez.
Yeah.
Dang. That's crazy. I like that.
It's absolutely wild.
Well, I would love to go there. Just explore. I'm still debating on if like should I just go there like alone or like with some friends who've never been there, or should I try to find a friend who's been there multiple times and they tell us where to go, or should I go in as like one of those group tours that you like go with as a set people and like a person?
When we did it with a group of 5 of us, and one of us had been there some years ago. But I will say this, as someone who has about as much understanding of the Japanese language as maybe the average Japanese 3-year-old, it was very easy getting around. Granted, we were in Tokyo, so we were like right in the middle of, you know, everything. But like in terms of like signage and like the trains, the announcements, it was very easy getting around. Literally some places we would go into, like say restaurants or whatever, they would immediately see us from a mile away and go, yes, the foreigners have arrived. And before we even get to the counter to say anything, they have an English menu ready for us to just point at. And I'm just like, that's incredible. That would never happen over here. Yeah,
no, they like if it was over here, we'd be like with our gum in our mouths, like it's over there. And then they just like I can't speak.
Technique.
It's like I got to do more work
the
here.
English technique is you talk to someone in English, and if they don't understand, you talk louder and slower until they do understand.
Yeah,
Because
see, you know it
if they don't
is.
speak the language, that will help them, clearly.
Clearly, like 100%. Like that's how I was going to get by with it. That's what I thought. Is that
Yeah,
not how it
exactly.
works? Yeah, I
But
was like,
generally, though, if you do go over there, not speaking the language was not a big factor for us. The only thing that was like slightly awkward trying to get sorted out was we went to the Final Fantasy XIV cafe where you had to book tickets in advance. And that was slightly challenging, but nothing that Google Translate couldn't handle.
nice, yes. I feel like the only thing that really is stopping me is knowing like one, like if I go down there, do I have to like book everything ahead of time in a Japanese like website for hotels and like events?
Hotel, yes. Hotel, you have to book in advance. So what we did, we booked our hotel, we got our flights, obviously. The only other things we did in advance were they have something called the JR Rail Pass, which is
Yeah.
essentially like a travel card for it's for foreigners. You know, it's literally for tourists to come along, and you get basically unlimited travel. It costs a decent amount up front, but it also covers the bullet train. So those were the only things we actually did in advance. The Final Fantasy XIV cafe we actually booked while we were there. Like we booked it like 2 days while we were in the hotel room.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Dang, I need to check that out. One day. Anyway,
One day.
well, anyway, another thing I like to ask you, and this is again another really cool treat for your fans. Any games you would like to play with your fans, like a community day or something?
Oh, okay. Well, we always do. We do our Yu-Gi-Oh. We do have our Yu-Gi-Oh. I usually do viewer duels about once a week. Basically, I'll set up a lobby and just kind of say, "Hey, come in, join in, and we'll play card games together." But that's always a lot of fun. As far as other games I want to play, I like the idea of doing maybe some like the classics, Gartic Phone, a bit of Jackbox. You can never go wrong with those.
True.
If I can shill for myself ever so slightly, me and my friends have been working on a game, a board game actually. We've been working on it for about a year, and we're nearly at the point where it's looking nice enough that we can put it on the Steam Workshop without feeling ashamed. Once we get that going, I definitely want to get some other VTubers to play it, and also just try it with some of my guests.
Cool. Okay.
We've been building this for about a year and only had about 5 people's worth of input on it, so we definitely need some fresh eyes and opinions on that.
Let me join it. I would love to join it. I'll be a tester. I'd be totally down.
I'd love to have it. Do you have Tabletop Simulator?
I do not, but I can get it. I
honestly really recommend it because there's so many games you can get on the workshop for that for basically free. It pays for itself in like a matter of seconds.
Does that have Betrayal on the House on the Hill?
I believe it does.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, like if you think of a board game, there's a very good chance that someone's made a mod for it on Tabletop Simulator, and some of them are like really high quality, where they've got like automatic setups and some of the game mechanics calculate themselves. It's a really nice way to just play games with people.
Be cool. I'd be down for that. Hello there, Zero. Hello.
Hey, Shira.
Awesome. Well, hey, I like that. I might check that out. And I would love to try out your game. That'd be great. I would love to see it.
I'd love to get some more feedback on it.
Yeah, exactly. And I've tested some games out for a lot of people because I used to take video game courses back in college, and yeah, it was really fun. And I would definitely love to see more like people try out new things. Who knows? It might be the next big thing.
Never know.
So the most difficult question that you've ever gotten throughout your entire robotic life.
I'm ready.
Are you a cat person or a dog person?
Very easy one. I'm a cat person.
Nice.
I have a funny explanation about this actually.
Okay, cool.
Are you familiar with the Co-optional podcast?
The what?
Co-optional podcast.
Co-optional? No, I have not.
Yeah, I don't know if it actually still is going. It was like Total Biscuit, Dodger, Jesse Cox. Either way, on that podcast one time, they came up with this theory, which I think is actually brilliant, which is cat people have personalities like dogs, and dog people have personalities like cats. So what I mean by that is the cat person, the person that owns a cat, does not expect anything out of the cat. They are just happy because the cat is there. There's a cat, you can pet the cat maybe, that's a good time all round. Dog people, again, not always, this is obviously broad strokes. Dog people like the fact that a dog is a bit more controllable. You can train a dog can do things, it can be a bit more controlled. Whereas the dog itself, he's just happy because he's there. You know, and the cats, by comparison, the cat likes being owned because the cat has someone to feed it and take care of it. And I think that's a very fun comparison. So in that regard, I am very much a cat person. If you give me a cat or any animal really, I'm happy with dogs. I'm just happy when there's an animal around.
True. I love that because it makes me think of like, because my brother, he's a huge dog person. He doesn't like cats very often, and I'm a huge cat person, and I don't really care too much about dogs. I like dogs. Dogs are great, but if I had to prefer, I would definitely prefer a cat. And making that, like, making us think that way, that like, yeah, I'm definitely a cat person because I'm just happy for them there. But they probably see me as a dog because I'm always like, oh, hey, dog, cat, you know, something that gives him all the attention. And he's just like, So it's like they see you as the opposite, you know? And like a dog sees me as a cat because they're always so wild, jumpy, and the people that are not like cats are just chilling, just seeing what's going on. I love it.
To put it the way that Lady Helm told me once, dogs have owners, cats have slaves.
Yeah. My cat's going to take over the world once.
Oh yeah, I mean,
soon.
If any animal's going to do it, it's going to be the cats.
Oh yeah, 100%. And he's already taking over my entire house. You think it's already his own?
See, your first mistake was assuming it was your house.
Well, I know, right? But he's had every single apartment complex he's ever been in, and now that I finally get a house of my own, now he's like, nice place you have here. Don't mind if I take it, you know, like something like that.
Your house? No. Our house.
Our house. My house. My house.
Exactly. That's the next step.
You can just clean up my poo and feed me, you know, all basic stuff, all basic stuff like that. Alright, cool. Okay. Awesome. I like it. Now let's get into the big, giant thing that we've always wanted to get into, and that is the design of your model. Let's get into some of the thoughts that went into it. So let's go into the thoughts that went into your model, because let's get out of the room. Let's get out of the way. Freaking interesting idea, right? Like really cool. A robotic helmet, but in a regular Maid body. You know, like I like that. It's a really cool idea.
Thank you.
So what came up from it? Like what started?
So funnily enough, the original inspiration came from my character in Final Fantasy XIV. So in that game, there is a particular piece of headgear that I fell in love with immediately. Like, when I was playing through it with Yomi, we got to this point in the game, and Yomi found the item before I did, and she said, Helm, you need to look at this, you're going to love this. And she was correct. This item is called the Ironworks Helm of Fending. It's not an item that's very popular. A lot of people say it looks like a bucket. And that's not entirely incorrect. But I loved it, because it was the most robot-y looking thing in the game at that point. And I had my character set up where I wore this big, chunky, metallic helmet and then had a maid dress on. And I thought the juxtaposition of big, manly, metallic robot head and, you know, slim, delicate maid, I thought it was a fun juxtaposition. In fact, I eventually renamed my character. In the game, her name is Ironworks Helm-chan, because she's always wearing the Ironworks helm. So that was where it kind of originated from, because from that point on, Yomi encouraged me to make my own version of the character, because while I loved the idea of it, it wasn't mine. You know, like I couldn't really make anything out of Ironworks Helm-chan because I didn't design the helmet, I didn't design the dress. I do quite a lot of I haven't done it in a while, admittedly, but I do quite a lot of designing. I'm not the best at art, but I like to think I'm pretty good when it comes to designs. I actually, you know, if I can toot my own horn here, I actually designed Yomi. I didn't do art for her model or anything, but like the actual design and concept, I actually did that. As a gift for her one year. Literally the concept was, Yomi, I'm going to take everything I know you like in a design and just put it onto one character. Make the ultimate waifu for you.
Aww.
And that was what kind of spawned her off. And she was like, you should do that for yourself. Make your own ultimate waifu. And I'm like, well, Ironworks Helm-chan kind of fits that bill. But yeah, I should. So I designed. There was a previous Helm-chan design. Before I decided I was going to be doing VTubing, I just kind of used it as like avatar, and I had some emotes that I made myself for Discord. But when Yomi was like getting seriously into the VTubing and showing me how much fun she was having with it, I'm like, I want to do this as Helm-chan, but I want to change the design. I liked the old design I had, but I wasn't like in love with it, you know, if you know what I mean. So from that point on, it was just a case of refining it, really. The main difference was the head didn't originally look like it had hair. I was going for a much more helmet-like look, and that was okay, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I kind of went more for sort of blonde bob cut-looking style in the end, and put a lot more blue glows on the dress to kind of tie the whole thing together.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So yeah, that's kind of the whole history of it, really, to be honest.
No, I like it. I like it. That's actually really cool.
Funnily enough, the item in question, because I don't play Fantasy 14 much these days, but my character is still Ironworks Helm-chan, and I always have her dressed accordingly. On the official website for Fantasy 14, there is a resource they call the Lodestone, which is basically like the game guide. It's got all the items and whatnot on there. And you can actually see I have left exactly 2 comments on the website on item pages, which are just the Ironworks Helm Offending and the augmented Ironworks Helm Offending, which is the exact same thing but diable.
I like it. I like it. That's so cool. Okay. That's awesome. I do like that you made your head have hair with it. I think it comes out really nicely.
The old design was a little bit too it looked a bit too much like being bald, which wasn't the intention. Although I did kind of realize after the fact that technically speaking, because my hair is metal, I'm not sure if that means I am actually still technically bald. But at least I don't look like I'm bald now.
Well, can you be bald if you never had hair to begin with?
That is a far more philosophical question than I am prepared to answer.
Oh, I'm just saying. Well, okay, so so your inspiration came from a item from a Final Fantasy game, right?
Yes, correct.
Cool. So
if you like, I can actually send you an image of my character.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, do it. Send it to me.
Let's see. Do I have a? I don't have a. I thought I had a clear one, but this will have to go.
Hello, Quickie. Hello. How's the interview? How's the interview going? I think it's going great. What do you think?
It's going great. Yeah, I'm having a blast with it.
Awesome.
So this was the character that inspired Helm-chan.
Oh, that's so cool. I can see that. I can see that definitely. Yeah, like a giant horn.
Yeah, the dress takes a lot of cues from it because I'm not particularly good at designing outfits.
No worries, I like it. It looks very good on you. It looks very good on you. I like the way it looks too, because like again, it's the whole proper looking thing, and then when you get to the hair, it's like super like shocking. That kind of like throws you off. It's really nice. I like it a lot.
I like it because it gives a sense of mystery and invites curiosity. It's like you see a maid, and it's like, okay, what's a maid? If you see a maid and they're like, say, I don't know, a dragon maid, for example, just hypothetically, you can see a dragon maid, like, okay, well, it's a maid, and they've got like a tail and horns. Okay, they're probably a dragon. But you see something like this, and you're like, well, is that a head? Is that a helmet? Is that headgear? Is this something they're choosing to do? Was this forced upon them? Like, it invites curiosity into the design, and I think that's kind of neat. I like characters that kind of have something about the design that makes you want to know more about them.
I agree 100%. Glad to hear it's going well. I am glad also.
Yeah, it's going very well.
Because if it's not going well, then I'm doing not a good job. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're doing a wonderful job. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But okay, so the reason why I bring that up is mostly because your head reminds me of like an old like TV show about this like Megabots, yeah. Have you gotten that around?
Intentional, but I think it might have been subconscious.
Cool, because I think the Megabots, right? Megabots.
Yeah, it had, like the little yellow robot Medabee, and it was the one with the little toy robots where they could swap their limbs off, right? If that's the one you're thinking of.
I think so. Just make sure. How do you spell it?
Medabot.
Yep, exactly. Yes, it looks just like him.
I don't think it was was like, it
Potential.
wasn't a conscious inspiration for certain, but it may possibly have been like a subconscious one because I do love Metabots. Metabots was one of my favorite things when I was younger.
I remember watching this a lot when I was a kid too, and I really like it a lot. I remember it, and I do like Megabot a lot. So I like the
It's a
green
shame that it's
eyes. It is kind of going away,
yeah.
right? Like it's kind of going into obscurity.
It's kind of a shame because Metabots itself is in kind of copyright hell right now.
Really?
Yeah, I believe. I think in America it's okay, but from what I understand, in Europe, the rights to the Metabots license were bought by like some NFT bros or something.
Oh
And they were kind
no!
of yeah, they were kind of sitting on the license, so it kind of made for a massive issue where we're basically never going to get anything localized until that gets resolved. I think like they bought it years and years ago, like shortly after the TV show had kind of died off, for like probably for like very cheap, I'd imagine. But yeah, unfortunately.
Lame. I'm pretty sure if anyone, like actual fans, would love to buy it, they'd probably be like, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
give me 8 billion cryptocurrency." I don't know.
It's a shame as well because it's one of those licenses that is still thriving in Japan. Like one of the games I want to get for a Japanese 3DS is a Metabots game.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
they still make games for it, just not over here.
Friggin' yeah, then definitely get it. Definitely get it. Definitely. They're in trouble. They're in trouble. Yes. Viku himself is going to go out and attack them. 100%. 100%. Cool. Awesome. And then spin. Got another spin.
I'm
For
gonna
you.
spin.
But yeah, no, I just thought of that. But also, have you ever thought about being compared to Bumblebee from Transformers?
Well, the thing is I only acknowledge one set of Transformers, which is the original animated ones.
Okay.
Could you imagine how bad it would be if Michael Bay made some live-action Transformers movies? That'd be terrible, right?
Yeah,
That'd be
right?
awful.
Right?
Good thing that doesn't
Totally.
happen.
Yeah, hopefully that never happens. Michael Bay making a Transformers movie?
Ugh.
Ugh.
I bet like make one of them have like wrecking balls and make a testicle joke about it.
Yep, definitely 100%. 100%. Yeah, 100%. He would do that too. He would do that. And too many explosions.
Yeah.
Too many explosions. Speaking of embarrassing stories, hey, do you have any embarrassing stories about yourself?
Oh man, embarrassing stories. I mean, I'm certain I've got plenty. I am like 70% cringe after all.
70% cringe was the other 20%.
At least 70%. That's an approximate. Wow. I feel like I have loads, and yet being put on the spot, I am somehow failing to think of any. But I'm sure I'll think of something if you just give me a moment here to just kind of process this.
Yeah, processing.
What's the most embarrassing story?
Processing.
It's not that embarrassing, I suppose, but off the cuff, I remember one time I was out shopping. I was in a clothing store, a now defunct clothing store over here called BHS, British Home Stores. And I was out with Lady Hound. We were just shopping for clothes. We kind of split up to look for separate things. And this old lady approached me. And I forget what she asked me. She asked me something along the lines of, do you think this would fit my son or my daughter? They're about your size. And I'm like, I don't know. I've never been very well informed about like clothing sizes. Like I'm not someone that can look at clothing and go, oh yeah, you're probably about a size.
Totally
whatever,
good.
you know?
Totally good. Yeah.
I just know what feels comfortable. So I looked at her and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have no idea. And she looked at me and gone, well, you're not much help, are you? Turned around and stormed off. It wasn't until like 5 minutes later when it hit me that I realized I had just happened to be wearing the same color shirt as the staff that day.
Oh.
And I think she thought I was a staff member. Although at the time I was way too young to be working there, but you know.
Still,
I
like, come on.
old everyone looks about the same age.
Okay, yeah, no, I've done that before accidentally. I'll come to work and I'll work at like a Target. Well, I don't work at a Target, but I'll like look like I work at a Target and I'll go to work. And then I'll be like, you know what? I need to get some groceries. So after work, I'll go to Target and I'm like, oh wait, maybe I should go somewhere else. Maybe I should go to Walmart because having a bright red shirt does that work out?
It's one of the unspoken benefits of having social anxiety. Because you're too nervous to approach people all the time, it often stops you from getting yourself into embarrassing situations in the first place.
Exactly, right? Like, why go out to talk to people if you can just, not?
Exactly, yeah.
Home. Let's go home.
Exactly.
Amazon's a good friend. Amazon's a good friend.
Oh, yes. I was talking to someone actually I was looking at a product on eBay recently. It was again a Yu-Gi-Oh item. I was looking for a new playmat, and while I found the item I think I wanted on eBay, it turns out that exact same design was used for both a playmat and a mouse mat. So like the Yu-Gi-Oh playmats are like, big desk mat things, whereas obviously mouse mats are much smaller. I wanted the playmat. And on the description for the listing I found, there was no dimensions or anything listed, and it was written very vaguely. Like I got the impression the person that owned this possibly wasn't super into the game or didn't really know what they had, kind of thing. Which that's fine. That happens. But I messaged a friend of mine who's also into Yu-Gi-Oh and said, looking at this, do you think this is a playmat or a mouse mat? And they said, I think it's a playmat, but like you could just message the seller. And I said to him, I am on eBay specifically to avoid having to talk to people.
You think if I would want to ask this person something, I would just go to a store and just get it there?
Exactly, yeah. Well, actually, funnily enough, I wish I could do that, because that's one thing I'm really just in America for. You guys have way better game stores than we do. Like I've seen like footage and like photos of American game stores where they've got like rows upon rows of tables set out for like big tournaments. I go to one tournament a month if I'm lucky, and the maximum capacity is 24.
Wow.
It's tiny by comparison. American game stores make me so jealous.
Yeah, we literally have a mall, like a literal mall, like a big giant like 2-story mall that has like multiple game stores into it, where they have like
amazing.
They also have one that's like has a built-in bar with it, so you can like drink and play your games while doing it.
But please tell me they've given it some sort of clever name, like the HP bar or something.
I don't remember, but it was supposed to be like a Dungeons and Dragons theme or something like that.
Oh, nice.
But no, it was really cool.
I need to play some more tabletop. I haven't done that in ages.
Me too. I haven't played it in a very long time. Only because I moved out of my hometown to move in this new town, and I don't have that many friends here. And all the friends here are not nerdy enough for me.
Right.
They're all talking about like sports and going out to bars, partying, and I'm over here like.
Man, imagine like going out and being social with your friends.
I know, right? It can't be me. It can't be me. I'm like over here like at home trying to find the next like retro game that like sparked my childhood fantasies, something like that, and like trying to watch the next anime and get into my next Genshin character I want to go for, and there's like no one to talk to about that at my job, so I was like,
You can always look online. You can. It can be a bit hit and miss, but there are definitely people that do like online games.
Oh no, trust. Trust me, like the one.
Funny enough, my most of my gaming that I did with tabletops was online. Kind of the only reason why I haven't done so much lately is because my DM was Yomi, who's obviously very busy these days, which that's perfectly understandable. And I'm also kind of busy myself, so I could maybe play in a game, but I couldn't really DM a game these days. And it's always that thing where no one wants to be the DM, everyone wants to be the player.
Exactly.
It's the more fun part.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I've only DM'd once, and it was really fun, but like it was a homebrew thing, so it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
But
I did it for a while, but the prep absolutely burnt me out after a while, because I like when I'm DMing, the DMing itself I enjoy. It's all the pre-prep that it just eats me up.
Yeah.
I kind of go into these little what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'll get into a habit where I'll think, oh yeah, I've got this idea. This game's going to be amazing. I'm going to DM this game. It's going to be fantastic. I'll throw myself 110% into the game, make some really awesome maps, plan a bunch of encounters out, and then the next session, I'll be equally excited. The session after that, the enthusiasm starts to wane a bit, and then maybe I start cutting corners here or there. Maybe the map doesn't have to be as fancy. Maybe the encounters don't have to be as polished. And by the end of it, I'm just like dragging myself through it. Like, they're all counting on me, so I've got a DM today, but I really don't want to. And it's not great. It's not great. That's actually kind of a small part, actually, now I think about it, why I did get into the VTubing, because I wanted something where I could, to help me try and keep motivated with something.
Mm-hmm.
I've got in the same way that I don't finish a lot of games, I've got a very bad history of starting various projects and then getting bored of them and ditching them. And I wanted something I could stick with a little bit, and this was kind of my way of showing myself that I am capable of doing that, provided it's something I am enjoying. And I think Yomi hit on this as well, which is getting that sort of instant gratification out of it, in terms of like when you're doing a stream, you're having fun, you know, you're seeing people enjoying the thing you're doing. Whereas if you're doing something like, say, DMing, the part of the DMing where you're, you know, making the maps and planning the encounters, people don't see that, you know. Or if you're doing like a video game, the part where you're making the video game, like doing the programming, that's boring and people don't see it. They only see the finished result. You haven't got someone kind of sitting there always saying, "Oh yeah, heck yeah, you got the battle system working, awesome," or whatever.
Awesome.
You know? the game that me and my friends are making, funnily enough, the only reason why that is still going as it is because so there's 3 of us working on it. I was like the lead designer. I came up with the base concept, and they loved it, so they jumped on board. We've got one guy who is our art team. We literally just call him the art team, even though he's the only one that does the art. And the other guy made a program that can mass generate the cards for us, which is invaluable. And because I've got like 2 other people that are constantly enthusiastic about the game and constantly want the game to be developed, that's keeping me on focus. If I was just doing this on my own, like if no one else was invested in this in the same way that I am, guarantee you I'd have dropped it by now. Easy.
Makes sense.
It's not a good trait to have, but it's
no,
I've at least managed to
self-motivation.
That myself.
Self-motivation is what you're talking about.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If it makes you feel then a little bit better for your VTubing side of things, I have been going back and re-interviewing people after a year to see any updates has changed. So you need to keep streaming and keep being an amazing VTuber, because I need to get you back on my show in a year's time.
Okay, I will happily, yeah, I'll be happy to take you up on that.
Good. See, motivation. Well, no, I totally agree with that kind of stuff. Like going back to what you were saying before, like I having online friends is actually really cool, and that's why I've been like. One of the reasons why I actually love doing this VTuber show is that I get to meet all these new people and these awesome people. So sometimes it's just, you know, interviews, talk, enjoy company, enjoy conversation, and then we just dip out. But sometimes I meet up with people and they're really awesome people, and all I want to do is hang out with them and like, become like really close friends. That's how I all started this, was because a VTuber who became one of my best friends, is still one of my best friends, got me to want to do more of this show. And I met their friends, and I met their friends, and I met new friends. You know, this is really cool. Like online, I have a lot of friends, and I love people to hang out with and play with. But like, I just don't have a lot of time to like go out and hang out with them while working, while taking care of my father, while like playing the games and watching anime that I want to watch, while also hanging out with the many people who I became friends with by doing this show.
There's just not enough hours in the day.
Not enough. I wish there was 48 hours in a day. I wish. That'd be nice.
It's very relatable as well, because on my end of things, my schedule is very strange. So, as I've said, I am in England, but you would not think so if you were to look at my schedule, because I usually stream at, I usually start between about 5 and 7 EST in the evening, which in English time is between 10 o'clock at night and midnight. It's actually midnight right now for me. Mm-hmm. But for me, that's absolutely fine. My duties have me busy in the evenings usually. So although I'm in England, my day-to-day schedule, I typically wake up between about 4 and 5 in the afternoon, and I normally go to bed between about 7 and 8 in the morning.
Wow.
So I'm basically nocturnal. It's something I've been doing for many, many years now, because I got into the habit originally through Yomi. Yomi lives in EST, and because Yomi is my best friend, I always want to be spending time with her. So I eventually just kind of naturally gravitated to the schedule, and eventually it just happened to work out that I could get my duties aligned with that, and it works out for me. So I've never really had a reason to complain about it or want to change it. The only downside is, every now and then when I need to do something that requires normal people time, it basically takes out my entire day, because it means I usually don't get much sleep beforehand, and then I'll get home and just pass out. Like when I go to my Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, and they start at like 11 in the morning, I can try and sleep, but I'm going to get like an hour if even, because it's like a 2-hour journey to get there. Wow. So I just don't bother sleeping, play through the fatigue, get home, and then pass out.
Play through the fatigue. Oh my god.
It's also great because it gives me an inbuilt excuse for why I'm bad at the game.
Hey, there you go. Perfect. I love it. I love it. All right, cool. Well, it's nice to see that Yomi has been an inspiration for a lot of things for you, and I love how you
Oh, she
guys are
really
best
has. I
friends.
mean, I know I keep bringing her up, and I'm not trying to make it about her, but
Yeah.
she really is like she's been. I would definitely not be the robot I am today if it wasn't for her. I can
No,
just say that flat out.
she's awesome. She's a freaking awesome person. Like I said,
She really is.
I can't say nothing but great things about her. So it's really cool. Very cool. Very cool person. Very cool person. Awesome. Now
Yeah.
let's go back to your model.
Okay.
What kind of so far we've seen you like go that like circle eyes every now and
Oh
then.
yes, that's my surprise look.
Your surprise look, yes, I love it. It's adorable. And you're on point on that. Can you do
thank you.
anything? Of course. Can you do anything else?
We've got a few expressions. So we've got the smiling one, we've got the surprised one. This one doesn't get much use, but we have got a slightly angry one. Oh, that's the
Slightly,
that's
slightly angry. That's slightly angry.
Yeah. So I got a color toggle on that one.
Oh.
So that's for very angry, and that's for slightly angry. It's quite
Oh.
subtle though. It's not.
Yeah, it's very
obvious,
subtle. It's very subtle.
Yeah. That's kind of why I often do combine it with the red just for effect.
Yeah, I can see that.
We also have the one for when the chat's making me embarrassed.
Oh,
because
I like the
one.
adorableness. I like the adorable.
This is quite cute. It's quite cute. And we also have the last one we have is for occasionally when things go a little bit.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, I think I had a moment there.
So it's okay. You were just trying to comprehend all the times you need to do collabs while also trying to schedule for a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Definitely true. 100% true. In terms of some other things we've got, these are little minor things, but I have got one for occasionally when we get a bit overheated. We've got to vent some of the steam out of the vents there.
Oh, that's so
Sometimes people
cool.
think they're pipes, but they are vents.
That's nice.
And
I like that with the
most
blush. Do the blush in that.
Yeah, the blush. That's when chats. That's when
Yes.
chats really sassy.
Yes, I
Very,
love
very
it.
sassy.
Ah, it's so
I
good.
have a remote that is basically this.
I love it. It's so good.
And then the other one, so I might take a moment to load just a second because we're doing hold on. Combine these two. Yes, a second. Give it a second. Give it a second because it's got to load an asset. There we
She
go.
has a dual disc.
So I will say I did not. This asset was not part of the model. This was made by another VTuber, Maple Syrup, who made this as a free asset for any VTuber to use. So I just kind of edited it onto my arm. But you've got to have your dual disc when you're having your duels. It's mandatory.
It's mandatory, 100%. Do you have one actually in real life?
No, I wish I did, but they do exist. They're not good. Like if you try and play with them, they will actually ruin your cards. I think they made a higher quality one recently, but it's more of kind of a collector's item. It's not really usable.
Makes
So
sense.
it would be a fun thing to own for sure.
I love it. I remember when I was a kid, we would buy ones, and they were terrible, but they were fun.
Oh, yeah.
They were fun.
I mean, that's the thing. When you're a kid, everything's exciting.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. All right, cool. That's really cool.
Can I wait for now?
Awesome. Cool. And can we see your full model?
Oh, yeah, certainly. Let me just, there we go. Oh, you might need to move me on. I think you need to move me on your end.
Oh, I have to move your mind. I guess I will assume control. Assuming direct control. Whoop, I'm sorry. I'm not used to. I'm not used to holding VTubers up. There you go. He's like a little doll.
There we go.
Look, action figure. Look, see, it's an action figure.
An action figure with Kung Fu grip.
Cool, awesome. Okay, so yeah, okay. I like the little. Wait, are the things behind you? Is those swords, or is that just a ribbon?
No, it's they are the long. I've got a bow on the back of the apron that you can't see from the front. So those are the ties of the bow.
Okay, cool. I like it. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I like it. It's adorable. It's very simple from the bottom down, and then really cool and awesome on the very top, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, I figured there wasn't too much point in going to hand with like the below the waist details because a lot of the time you're not going to see those.
Exactly.
But I wanted a little bit of visual interest there, of course.
Yeah, I agree. I like it a lot. All right, so now one of my favorite questions to ask is, what's your personal favorite part about your own design?
I mean, it sounds very vain, but honestly, it's the head. I
Yep.
really love how this head design came out. It should come as no surprise. I do like helmets and masks. I think they're always very fun design features. Like, there's only so much you can do with a face, but a helmet or a mask can be whatever you want it to be. And it also has that air of mystery about it. Also, as a personal thing, I don't like robots with mouths. I know that sounds really stupid, but why does a robot need a mouth? What function does that serve for the robot? It's presumably vocalizing using a bit of hardware or software. It doesn't need to exhale through its lungs and operate a voice box. It doesn't need to eat. So why does it need a mouth?
Because of
I always
sus.
say Optimus Prime is better than Megatron because Megatron has a mouth and Prime doesn't.
True. Also, sus things. They want it for the fan fiction.
I guess that could also be a reason why.
Well, no.
Look, I'm not saying I have a Transformers folder, but I'm not saying I don't.
Whoa. There's a file on your records of Transformers that we're not allowed to see.
I'm not saying I have that folder, but I'm also not denying the existence of such folder.
I see how it is. Oh. Well, no, I like your helmet too. Your helmet's really cool. I imagine those little fans that's sticking out your side of your head could like pop off and turn to swords, like beam sabers.
Funnily enough, I actually don't have anything in terms of weaponry.
What?
As a maid, as a maid, I don't need to. My job isn't to be security. My job is to just be perfectly normal maid. Now,
Perfect.
Lord Helm, on the other hand, and Lady Helm in particular is armed to the teeth. I think she always has at least 2 Gatling guns on her at any time. I don't even know.
At least.
At least. When they got
Minimum.
married, I don't know how they got this. She had this abomination that she called a bullet bouquet, which is, just imagine like 50 gun barrels pointing in different directions, made of different guns, tied with a ribbon of bullets. And somehow it worked. I think it was made by one of the 40k orcs, because I don't know how that physically works. Yeah. I think the idea was you just hold the trigger, like take the trigger down and throw it and hope that something else dies before you do.
Yeah, but you have to pull all the triggers, right? Or was only one?
No, single trigger.
Just one trigger for all those barrels?
Yes.
How?
Don't ask me. I don't know anything about how guns work. I just keep away from her when she's pulling them out.
Okay. Very fair. Okay, cool. That's something that we do not want to grab. We do not want to catch.
Definitely
We don't want to
not.
catch that bouquet.
Definitely not.
Cool. Well, I got another spin for you from Ruthie, the
Sounds
best
good.
of Ruthie. It's great to see you, Ruthie. And we also have a stretch. So we need a stretch. Do you stretch because you're a robot? Like, do you have back problems? I feel like I have back problems.
If I have any maintenance issues, I just go down to maintenance.
Huh. That's good. Maintenance will help you out. Well,
Yeah.
How about this? Does robotic Maid VTubers do ada-adas?
It's very funny that you say that because one of my viewers actually. So I'm trying to add some more redeems because a lot of my viewers have got a lot of channel points. I've got a few redeems, but they're quite cheap. One of my viewers suggested an RR redeem, and it seemed very popular. So it's going to happen at some point. Literally, the only reason why it's not there now is because I want to make a proper, a little animation just to catch my attention so I don't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, would you like a free one?
Yes. We would. I think Ruthie would like the free one because Ruthie's the one that spinned
Ruthie
it.
would like a free one.
Ruthie, you would like to
he or she.
ada-ada? Would you like that ada-ada?
I was given compliments on it, so hopefully it can hold up to the hype. Ara, I hope you're having a wonderful evening tonight.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully I lived up to the hype.
It's very proper. It's very fitting of your character. I like it.
Of course. Nothing sus about a maid. Maids aren't for losing.
Yeah. No, who suts over a maid, right? That's
Exactly.
totally not a rule for that. Definitely not.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you do something like that?
Yeah, who would
I
loot?
can't possibly imagine.
Exactly. It's the same thing with why there's mouths on robots. Like, there's no sus.
Exactly.
Nothing sus.
Exactly. There's no purpose for it.
No purpose.
at all.
No purpose at all. No purpose at all.
No purpose.
No purpose at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why, and I will. Can I drop the hottest take?
Oh snap! I don't know if we are ready for it, but try it. Hopefully
Okay.
we can handle it.
I who disagrees. I don't care who hears it. I will say it.
Oh.
2B is a shit robot waifu.
Oh
That's-
snap! Oh snap! Oh, you're gonna destroy a lot of VTubers.
I will
Oh.
stand by that opinion. Now, let me clarify. I'm not saying that she's not hot, because she definitely is. But she's a shit robot waifu. Because if you look at her, there's nothing robot about her. She's just a woman. You can't just look like a woman and claim to be a robot. It doesn't work that way.
Do not play the game Nikkei then.
Funnily enough, I have played Nikkei, and although, again, I will say a lot of the girls in there are very hot, I have to be intellectually consistent, and I will say they are also, by my metric, bad robot girls. But they are better robot girls because they do acknowledge being robots better than 2B does.
Okay. Makes sense. So then tell me this. What do a hot waifu have to be to be considered as a robot waifu?
Oh, very easy. So for me, the way I look at it is the top tier robot girl characters have to be both robot and girl. If it's too robot, then that's bad. If it's too girl, that's bad. So you want to get a good mix of qualities. Things like antenna ears, doll joints, maybe like metallic skin, or like obvious robot arms. Those are good qualities. The way I look at it is if it looks entirely like a human, like 2B, it needs to act very robotic, and vice versa. So if you have like a very robotic looking character that acts just like an anime girl, that can work depending on the design. But if it doesn't, excuse?
So
So?
you have to be kind of like a robot, but not fully like a robot, and you have to kind of look like an anime girl, but not fully like an anime girl.
Yes, I am just describing myself, yes.
I'm just saying. You're nailing on the head, nail on the head on this one.
I mean, when I get to make my own model, I'm not going to make myself fail my own criteria for being a good robot waifu.
See, best robot waifu right here. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying right there.
You said it, not me. But...
Okay, no, I can see that. I see your point. And see.
Yeah. Again, the way I look at it with 2B specifically is. I remember when Nier Automata came out, and I will admit I didn't like that game, but that's aside from the point. When it came out, I saw a lot of people that would come out and be like, "Oh yeah, robot girls are so hot. 2B's like got such a great ass." And the way I look at it, saying that you like robot girls because you like 2B is like saying that you're into monster girls because you had your girlfriend put on a pair of cat ears once. It's not really the same thing.
Not really the same thing. I think
it's like the most like pedestrian level of entry into the category.
That's a really interesting take. I want more people to know about that kind of take, because like if you think about it, so yeah, is there really a robot waifu if they only look like a regular person?
Yeah.
Or what?
If it looks like a human and it behaves like a human, why make it a robot character? That's the way I look at it. Because robot characters in general, like, there's some really interesting things you can do with them in fiction. I mean, I think one of the best examples in that regard is a character like Mr. Data from Star Trek. You know, great character. They did a lot of cool things with the storytelling with him. He doesn't look very robotic, but they tell an interesting story about him being a robot. 2B being a robot doesn't really matter a lot in the game outside of like the gameplay conceit of respawning and the programming and whatnot. Like, it didn't really come up, and it didn't sell that she was a robot. Like, she could just be a soldier, a human soldier, and you wouldn't really have to change that much. I feel like a good robot character could not be replaced with a human without a significant rewrite to the story.
Okay, I see what you see now. So if the character, like, being a robot and just removing the robot part and just adding it as a human doesn't change much of the character or doesn't change much of the story, then it's not really a robot. It has to like be a significant part of that person's design. Okay,
exactly, yeah. Or alternatively, like if the physical design is very roboty, that's also fine. One of my best girls is Aegis from Persona 3, and her being a robot doesn't come up. Well, I don't know if they've changed this in the remake, But in the original game, it doesn't come up massively towards her as a character sometimes, but the design is very clearly robot girl. Like, you can't mistake Igus for a human.
Mm-mm.
Although somehow people do because she puts on a school uniform, and I guess the Clark Kent effect is in full swing there.
Well, you know, some people just like hot anime girl. I like. It must have a mouth somewhere. It must have a mouth somewhere.
Like I said, don't get me wrong, 2B is hot. The Nikkei girls are hot. Just by my very particular standards, they are just low tier robot girls.
No, true. I agree with you. Not really a. I don't really go for like robot waifus very often. Don't go very. Like robots are not usually my cup of tea. But I will say that there's definitely some hot like top tier ones. I would like to rate one day. I would like to rate top tier robot waifus. That'd be good. That'd be fun to do.
I actually did a not waifu specifically. I actually did a robot tier list back in November, and that was when I got to unveil the hot take of 2B being bottom tier. So for the same reason, I had to put Android 18 in bottom tier. And again,
what?
Not a bad cat. Well, again, same thing. Not a bad character, but doesn't look like a robot. Doesn't act like a robot. You're told she's a robot, but we see people like Goku do the same thing she does, and he's not a robot.
Yep, and to be honest, they changed her into a human like super easily, and then had the kid with Krillin. So
I think technically speaking, they're actually cyborgs as well.
Yeah, they are cyborgs.
Yes.
Yep, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
humans originally, I think.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, the same thing with 17 too. I don't think 17 or 18 ever.
They're like brother and sister, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm only like tangentially familiar with a lot of DBZ. I haven't watched it I watched the abridged series a lot, but I haven't actually watched the original in many years.
True. Same here. I think I watched the bridge series earlier than I watched the actual regular series. Totally good. Totally good.
It's great. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
The Abridged Perfect Cell is literally perfect.
Perfect. I love it. I do too. Also, it looks like VQ is back, and we actually skipped a spin, so we're going to have to do another spin.
Oh, yeah, spin. Let's go.
These are good. These coming up with good conversations. You're learning about your taste in many things. Cool. Here's your next taste. Favorite Pokemon? Do you like Pokemon?
Oh, that's an easy one. Magnemite. Don't have to think about that.
Wow, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I should be surprised, but
yeah, he's my favorite. I actually have. I'm looking at him in the corner right now. I have 3 Magnemite plushies.
Aww.
Of varying sizes. I have other ones, but he's the only one I have like multiple of. And for the longest time, I was on a quest to try and get some Magnemite merch because I couldn't find any over here. Like, I never saw figures, I never saw plushies. And then, don't you know it, just like waiting for a bus, 2 come along all at once. I've got like 2 of them in quick succession.
Nice.
When it comes to like plushies, I love plushies of things that probably shouldn't be plushies. Like, I've got a Metagross, which is like the least cute thing I think I can think of in terms of Pokemon. I've got a Sharpedo, Kabuto. Like, I just think plushie versions of things that aren't cuddly are just it's kind of funny to me, and I just think it's fun. When it comes to Magnemite specifically, I have a personal beef with Nintendo, though. So, Magnemite is electric steel, which gives it a 4 times weakness to ground. However, in every media that you see Magnemite, it is depicted hovering off the ground. You might even dare say levitating off the ground. Magnemite cannot get levitate in any game as an ability. And yet Gengar, which is typically shown standing on the ground, did used to have levitate.
What?
Yeah. So I have a personal beef with it. One day, I kind of want to do a Pokemon ROM hack where I just do a solo run with Magnemite and just hack it to have levitate so it can have his revenge.
Yes! Do it. Magnemite was one of my favorites when I was growing up too, because I just thought it was adorable.
Yeah, it's just cute. He's just a little guy. I think it's also great because as someone who was there from the beginning, you know, I was there for Gen 1, and I'm a little bit older than I might look. Like, people like to come up with this argument that people that like Gen 1 like to go, you know, Pokemon's so bad these days. Look, this one's literally an ice cream cone. This one's literally garbage. And it's like, they've been doing that from the beginning, and Magnemite's great. I'm looking at no slander against Magnemite. So even though I will admit I don't particularly like the ice cream Pokemon, like we can't act like Magnemite is amazing and Vanilla is terrible. They're both okay. You can just like different things.
I agreed 100%. And like to be, yeah, like the original, like even though I'm definitely an OG like favorite, none of the newer like franchises really like spots my like interest that much. I'm sorry, Viku. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cough so much. I'm still going over a cold. The main
going around. I got it like 3 times over Christmas.
Yeah, I usually don't get sick very often, but my brother came over just to like hang out, and he was sick, and so he got me sick, and now I'm getting my dad sick. So
Right.
but I'll be fine.
I always say I don't get ill very easily, but when I do, it absolutely destroys me.
All the viruses for you, too much viruses.
Yeah, I can only debug so much.
Yep, exactly. But for me, I just get sick for a couple days, and then I can get 100% good. And I probably won't get sick again for until the end of the year.
Well, here's hoping for you.
Yep. Going back to what I was saying before, though. Actually, what was I saying before?
You're talking about old school Pokemon.
So yeah, I love old school Pokemon 100%. I prefer that to all the rest of the Pokemon that come out. But gotta be honest, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, pretty basic designs if you think about it. They're literally just a turtle, a lizard, and a frog.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't like the Charmander line.
Me neither.
I like the other two okay, but I've never actually liked the Charmander line. I don't get the Charizard hype. I never have.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Like, I was always Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur was my original starter, and probably one of my favorite Pokemon to this day, honestly. And the funny thing is, literally the only reason why I picked it was the name, because it had Saw in its name, and at the time, I was obsessed with dinosaurs.
Oh,
Even though,
yeah.
as you say, it is very clearly a frog. It's clearly a frog, but because it had Saw in its name, I'm like, Saw, like dinosaur. This will be my starter.
You know, I like that. I actually, I got Charmander in the beginning because my brother got Charmander, and I want to be like my brother. But then, and I've told this story many, many times, so I'll actually try to not do it too long. But when I was first playing Pokemon Red, long time ago, we didn't have the internet, so I didn't know a lot about the game. So I didn't know where to go. I just kept on training and building my Pokemon and just keep on stuck in that kind of loop. Well, I didn't know that after a level cap, your Pokemon stops listening to you until you get the next badge.
Oh.
So I didn't know why my Charizard was not listening to me. He just stopped obeying me. So I tried to figure out how to take care of him. And my dumb child brain was looking through the options, and I saw something called release. And I don't know why. I do not know why. But my brain thought, release stress. He's probably stressed out. This should be really good for him. And of course, it just said, Charizard will miss you. And then he's like slowly goes away. I'm like, oh, my Charizard, no! And I kept on running around in the. I kept on.
You telling me that story actually?
Oh, I did?
I think you've actually. You saying it just now has, I think, jogged a memory, and I think I have actually a better answer to the embarrassing story question.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
Well, actually, if you don't mind, can I finish this last part of my story, and then I'll let you do?
Yeah, no, sorry, I thought you were finished. I thought.
No. So I was running around in the grass to see if I can recapture him, so I thought that would happen.
Oh no.
Finally, I just kind of just like, you know what? Charizard left me. He abandoned me. He didn't want me anymore. So I don't like him anymore. So that's actually how I fell in love with a Haunter, which was my second favorite. And when I finally got into the playground, which is back in the day, the internet, because that's how we find out everything.
Yeah.
I told my friends what happened, and they were like, freaking stupid idiot. Like, this is how you do it. And like they showed me where to go, and they even showed me how to train my Haunter in for a Gengar. Man, the trust level I had with my friends was peak, because after I lost my Charizard, and they're like, oh, just trade me this Pokemon, I'll give you back your Haunter. I'm like,
yeah,
you will, please?
It's very funny how the whole conceit of Pokemon is meant to be about trading, but since the history of mankind, everyone just trades with their friends and trades back immediately to get the trade evos.
Yep, 100%. Like, come on, obviously.
I've never met anyone that actually traded the trade evos and let the other guy keep it.
Yeah, no, I've never met that either. Never met that either. But then my new favorite is Squirtle because it's from Squirtle, which is an adorable turtle. And then comes to War Turtle, which I think just sounds freaking sick. War Turtle. And he has like this cool like fat like kind of like fit like feather fins on his head. And then Blastoise, which actually has cannons on his shoulders, which was dope. So yeah, I like the Squirtle line. I like the Squirtle line.
Blastouse's cannons are definitely one of the reasons why I love that line. I'm a big Digimon fan, and Digimon has guns to spare on its designs. So
Oh yeah.
It's very rare that Pokemon get something like that. So that was always a treat for me.
Agreed. All right, your turn. You go back to your busy
story. So your story reminded me of a. This isn't necessarily a particular event, but it is something that's kind of an embarrassing story. So I used to do a lot of text-based role playing on forums. It was actually how I met Yomi back in the day on Gaia Online, of all things, which I think still exists technically. I don't know if it's very active these days. But so my embarrassing story is I used to be like browsing around in the role playing forums. Nothing lewd or anything, just wholesome role playing.
Wholesome.
Yeah, no, nothing like that, completely wholesome. But you'd see people like advertising for various role plays, like Harry Potter role play or Teen Titans role play, and at that time, Naruto was very popular. I had no idea what Naruto was. I'd never seen the show. I'd never seen it advertised anywhere. I had absolutely no idea what it was. But somehow, through the most absurd mental gymnastics you've ever heard, I convinced myself that it was something perverted. So the logic in my mind went like this. Naruto, if you swap the R and the T, you get Naturo. And Naturo is kind of like naturist, as in those people that live in the nude. And so that's how I somehow convinced myself, with no evidence, that Naruto had to be a hentai. And I believed this somehow for over a year.
Ah.
When I actually found out what it was, I was kind of disappointed, I'm not going to lie.
Yep. You just thought it was a hentai. It was like,
yeah, well, I thought it was some sort of like hentai that people were like kind of secretly communicating with each other with. But no, it's just a ninja show, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a guy going around, you believe it.
Man, I wanted to be a hentai. I wanted a hentai. Jeez. This is a ninja show. Oh no, there's a lot. Like you're not wrong when you thought it was a hentai, because there's probably, even around that day and age, there was probably a lot of it over there.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, like what Crickie's saying, that's a lot of gymnastics you have to go around just to go into that.
It's so funny because I had no reason to come to this conclusion either. No one what's the word? Like suggested it to me that it was anything like suspect or anything like that. It was purely a incorrect conclusion that I somehow came upon on my own with absolutely no influence or evidence. I have no idea what I was thinking.
Well, it's interesting. I like it. This is really interesting. I never thought of someone would think of it as Naruto natural as in nude hentai. I love it.
It's like 4 steps removed, not even remotely close. Funnily enough, I think there actually is a brand of dog food over here now called Naturo as well.
Oh, and you over here like, it's a hentai. I know it.
It's dog girl hentai, that's it.
Dog girl hentai. Oh my god, no. Oh no. That's funny. I love it. Alright, it looks like Viku actually did another spin. So we can use all the spins today.
More spins, let's go.
I wonder if we'll get into a very specific spin, but we'll see.
I'm slightly concerned.
Never. Don't worry. What do you do for fun on your free time?
Well, unfortunately, it's a slightly awkward question to answer because that question presupposes that I do have free time. But mostly I just play video games to unwind. Well, I kind of play a bit of everything, but my go-to game for just I want something to do with my hands that doesn't require much thought is actually Crash Team Racing. One of my all-time favorite games that I have played inside and out so many times that if I'm in a Discord call with someone and it's just like a casual call, like I'm just chatting with Yomi or whatever. If I want something to do with my hands, I will just play that because I know I can play that game flawlessly while holding a perfect conversation and not think about it. Like it's so automatic for me. Other things, I mean, obviously I do like a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh. I do a little bit of art. I'm not the best at it when it comes to art, but I have fun with it. That's largely about it. Really, I watch a lot of like YouTube and streams and such, but yeah, I'm kind of boring. I'm gonna be entirely honest.
You're totally good. You're not boring. You're very interesting. I like the way you like think of certain things. Your thought patterns is very interesting. Very interesting.
Quickie has brought up a good point. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh for fun is
fun?
actually a total. That's incorrect. You can't. As any Yu-Gi-Oh player will tell you, you can't actually have fun while playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It's scientifically impossible.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
It's not possible. It's the worst part about being a Yu-Gi-Oh player is the fact you actually have to play Yu-Gi-Oh. It's kind of disgusting.
Man, back in my day, you just had to worry about dual monsters and put it in attack mode. And then you had to do this. You don't have to do these synchro summons and like twist summons and like triangle calculations of the paragram and making sure that the galaxy is in a line before you summon Exodia on the battlefield in one turn. I know how that works.
The funniest thing is that half the stuff you said there wasn't too far off.
Freaking, I know. That's the scary part of it. But yeah, no, like
one of my favorite. One thing I love doing when I meet someone that used to know Yu-Gi-Oh. You get different reactions because a lot of people know Yu-Gi-Oh, or at least they know of Yu-Gi-Oh, but they're not up to date with modern Yu-Gi-Oh, and I understand that. Modern Yu-Gi-Oh is a heckin' complicated game, but sometimes you'll get people where you'll like mention Yu-Gi-Oh to them, and they're like, oh, hell yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, and you've got to then try to subtly work out, without being impolite, how much they actually know about Yu-Gi-Oh, like, did they just watch the cartoon as a kid, or are they actually up to date on the current metagame? And it's always very funny when you pull out some of the newer cards and show them to people and watch them like recoil in horror and fear at something like a pendulum monster.
I should show you this. I wonder if I still have that video somewhere. But there's a video that someone sent me, I think, of like a fighting between like Yugi. No, it was Joey versus Kaiba, and like Kaiba was like, I summon Axe Warrior to attack mode, and then put one face down card. That's your turn. And then he's like, well, I'm going to do this, sacrifice this card. And then we both have to take like 10 cards from our hands and put it into the graveyard. But by doing that, I also have to summon this card that automatically plays into a $3,000 kind of like, and it's like, well, what's going on? What's going on?
I feel like I may have seen the actual video. That sounds familiar.
I gotta show you. I'll see if I can find it and I'll show it to you. If they play, what kind of deck do they use? Whoa, wait, do you have a deck? Do you have a deck?
Yeah, I do. So I don't play in paper very often. Again, my weird nocturnal schedule kind of makes that difficult, but I do try to get down to my locals every month. I have 2 decks that are complete. I play one of them, which is Trap Tricks, which is a archetype of cute little anime girls that leave trap holes on the field. It's not particularly good. It's okay, but it's one of those decks where if you end up having to go second, you're probably going to lose the game. The other one I play is a very common one among VTubers I've discovered, for obvious reasons. It's called Live Twins. Literally, it is an archetype of VTuber monsters who are secretly jewel thieves. So I've got a deck of that. I've kind of got a half of another deck because so the live twin deck I play with a group of cards known as sprites, which they're kind of generic, but they work in any deck that uses level 2 monsters. And because of that, you can put them into, again, anything that uses level 2s. It just so happens that Frog the Jam is a level 2. So I brought this guy down to my locals last week, and we did okay. We ended up placing 5th out of 14, which, considering the deck that I was playing at the time was not particularly good, pure Sprite is not a very good strategy. I'm happy with taking 5th. And if nothing else, we got lots of laughs when I hit people with Frog the Jam, just because they know it's a bad card, so you can't smile when you see it.
Like, oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I love it.
I'm always kind of like, always stand by. I will rather play a deck that I find fun, and ideally that kind of gets a chuckle out of someone, than a deck that is the super sweaty meta decks. Like, I've played meta decks in Master Duel. I played Kashtira, and that deck is disgustingly powerful. But it's like, if you're playing the best deck in the format and you win, well, yeah, of course you do. That's what you expect to happen in that situation.
You're supposed to win.
If you're playing like a mediocre deck and you win, though, well, that makes it more exciting when you win, and also less frustrating when you lose, because, you know, you can say, yeah, the deck's not very good, and you've got to lose it out.
So is the game like really just like skill based, or is it just like whoever has the best deck?
No, not at all. Not at
Oh.
all. A lot of people will tell you Yu-Gi-Oh is skill based, and there is an element of skill into it, but like any card game, the luck of the draw definitely comes into it. A lot of modern Yu-Gi-Oh basically devolves into whoever goes first will try to do whatever they can to basically stop the other player from playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So you put up like monsters and spells and traps that will negate opponents' effects and basically stop them from playing the game.
That makes sense.
In that regard, like whether you win or lose typically comes down to, did you either A, have a card that you can use to interrupt your opponent's turn to stop them from doing that, or B, did you draw a card that can let you, what's known as breaking the opponent's board? Or, as we say in the community, did you draw the out? There is an element of skill in it for sure, like knowing how your cards work, when to use them, knowing the opponent's deck and what points you want to interrupt their combos. Definitely does come into it, but anyone that thinks Yu-Gi-Oh is pure skill, I have a bridge to sell them. That's all I'll say.
I like that. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. I don't play card games anymore.
It's a fun game.
But yeah, it's
really
really
fun.
I like that. Maybe one day, I will play the Yu-Gi-Oh game, and I'll be like, I choose Lil Creebo in attack mode, and I will destroy your blue eyes white track. I don't know. Oh, something like that. What to learn, Tricko? Want to learn? Probably not. Not saying I don't want to. It's I don't have time. Like,
honestly, that's fair. Yu-Gi-Oh is like monstrously complicated.
Yeah, like
like
it's
it because
cool.
it's
Yeah, like there's like a lot of things I want to do. Like I have some friends who wants me to get into Gundam model making. I would love to do that. I actually have some models I want to do. There's like Yu-Gi-Oh. There's also I want to get back into fighting games because I used to play fighting games like religiously when I was growing up. And like there's so many things I want to get into, but I just don't have time. You know, from like my work.
I will definitely be Oh, sorry.
No, you're totally good. Continue.
I will definitely be standing on the side of trying to convince you to build Gundam kits, because I have a... Gundam was my first addiction when I first had my own income. I used to go to London Comic-Con twice a year, because I do one in May and one in October, and every time, without fail, I would come back with like at least 5 Gundams. At least. It got to the point where my supplier would recognize me on site. We didn't have any contact outside of the convention, but they saw us like, it's you. How many Gundams are we going to buy today? In fact, it's got to the point now where the reason why I don't buy Gundams is less about desire and more about space. I don't have many shelf spaces left, to put it simply.
Why are people trying to take out my glasses so much? What's going on? Why? Biku took out my glasses twice, and then you, which I love you to death, you're one of my newer viewers, and I really appreciate you, and you're amazing. But why? Okay. I agree, 100%. Very cool, very awesome, very awesome. I would love to do model making. I even have a model like kit that like I'm able to start on and stuff like that. Again, I just don't have the time because I need like sit down at my desk and like just work on it. And I'm pretty sure I can stream it, and people and a lot of my community would love to see me actually try something out.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely people that do stream like themselves building Gundams, definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I know there's a niche for that, and I'm pretty sure majority of the people who like to watch me also like to watch model making, so they probably would love to do that. But I work 52 hours a week. And then when I get home, I usually have to go take care of my father, who is in the more of the older age. So the only time I have, the only time I have time to do anything is I use to stream.
Yeah.
So
that sounds familiar. I actually actually have a kit sitting behind me that I bought in October that is still untouched.
Yep. So there's a lot of things.
Finding the time.
So there's a lot of things I would like to do, a lot of things I would do,
Yeah.
but at the moment I just don't have the time to do it. Maybe one day when I'm successfully able to afford things without worrying about it, I can like try those things out again. But
When you
at the
discover
moment,
the mythical free time.
the mythical free time, the thing I used to have when I was a kid, but no longer can attain anymore. I always like kids who's like, I want to be an adult. It's like, no. You will lose your free time. You cherish your free time. I cherish the time.
Right? Because like when you're a kid, you've got the free time, but you haven't got the money. That's the trade-off.
Yep. But now you have the money, barely, and you just need the free time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll play Duel Links now, but I'm still watching. That makes sense.
Oh, Duel Links, nice.
Do it. Go for it. Cool. Awesome. Where were we on questions wise?
I lost track.
Oh yeah. No, you're talking good. Actually, I think we're on lore and backstory. Do you have a lore and backstory? Why are you robot? Why robot? Why are you robot waifu?
Well, I mean, for the same reason that you're a human, it's not something I really had much of a say in the matter of. But simply put, I am the maid of the Helm Manor. We are a community of robots that are essentially we kind of self-replicate, if you like. The Lord and the Lady are responsible for making new robots and organizing things. And simply put, we are just here to help humanity. We love humans. We want to support them any way we can. And as a maid, my job is to make sure that the humans around us are as comfortable as can be.
Oh, nice. Thank you. If I could, I would ask you to bring me coffee. But that'd be terrible for me right now.
I can do that.
Yeah, see, but
I can do that, but I believe there is an ocean in the way, so you may need to wait approximately 2 to 3 days for delivery.
That's fine. Just like, it'll be worth
You might need
it.
to put it in the microwave when it gets there.
It's fine. A hot anime girl walking up to me with a coffee, that kills it. Anything. I can work for that. Better than most Amazon packages, I gotta say.
Anyway, never mind. Okay.
But no, like see the illusions that you're right here, right in front of me. Yeah, but the problem is that I can't have coffee right now. That's the real reason I can't have coffee right now, because it's late for me and I have to get up and going to work tomorrow, so I can't. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why. Normally I would ask you just to hand it to me right here, but can't. All right, but yeah. Okay, so your robot lords and ladies have made it. So what model are you?
My technical designation is I-130. It doesn't actually mean anything. It's an arbitrary number. I am a unique model. Essentially, the way that we are created is we all begin in a base model that is colloquially known as a visor-chan. At this point, we're very basic intelligences that kind of can self-develop over time. And as we develop, and we kind of some of them will eventually get their own sense of personality and behavior, and eventually we will replace them with a newer body. Some of them don't. Some of them are basically digital clocks. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just one of those sort of kind of like how you see the AI learning algorithms where you see people do video games where they learn to play a game or something. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they'll learn to get sentience, and sometimes they just run into a wall for 5 hours. Similar sort of thing. Makes sense.
Good time.
As we develop, we'll go through multiple bodies. This is, I believe, my 7th. Oh. I think it's my 7th, something like that. But the bodies themselves are designed based around our needs, roles, and personalities, essentially. So my personality and my abilities made me appropriate to be a maid. As such, I was upgraded into a maid. If I had been more of a kind of, say, a more masculine robot, or maybe I'd been more of a sort of like rough and tough robot, I might have been built into a builder, and I might look completely differently.
I see.
In the case of my design, I am actually one of the more human-looking members of the manor because I'm a maid. And the maid's job is, of course, to make sure that the guests are as comfortable as possible. Now, to do that, we decided that it would be best for my design to best emulate a human. Problem with that, the head. So, I don't know if you've ever tried to model and animate a realistic human head. It's extremely difficult.
Huh.
And if you don't get it correct, then you end up with the uncanny valley effect, whereby it looks more unsettling than it does friendly, because it tricks the human brain into going, this thing looks like a human, but it doesn't look enough like a human. It's not quite correct. So
Yep.
rather than risk running into that uncanny valley, it was decided that my head would be deliberately non-human, because that was the part we couldn't get right. And it also just happened to be coincidental that the Helm Manor is named Helm, because historically, the legend goes that some of the earliest ones did deliberately design their heads to look like knights' helmets to kind of blend in. I don't know how successful that was, though.
I like it. It's really good. Really smart. Very smart. Because I remember seeing like the video of like all these girls with like helmets on or masks on, and the masks all look like anime girls, but they're realistic anime girls, and they all and people, and it was like a classroom full of that, and the caption was like, "This is what you want, right?"
Yeah,
and it just looks really creepy.
That exact one, I've seen that myself. Yeah, I believe they're called Kigurumi, if I remember correctly.
Something like that.
Yeah. Those definitely hit the uncanny valley in that regard, for certain.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Realistic anime girls are actually kind of horrifying.
Yeah, no, realistic anime girls are terrifying. We do not want anime. See, we, as weebs, want to go into anime worlds, but we don't want anime girls to come into our world. No, you don't want that. You don't want that.
But then again, I feel like that would be a very good premise for like a comedy isekai, where a real life human gets isekai'd into an anime world, but he still looks like a real life human, so everyone is like recoiling in horror.
That'd be kind of cool, because it'd be like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of style.
Yeah, like in reverse, yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be funny.
I'd see that. Just make it happen. Make it a thing. Someone make it a thing. Get on that. Get on that. Cool. Heads are hard. True. Heads are hard. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a single artist bone in my body, so I have no idea how to do those kind of things. But I will definitely say, it looks difficult. Very looks difficult. Helmet's better.
Definitely.
Refuse. He refuses. How dare you refuse? How dare. Okay, so let's get into something a little bit more spicy. A spicy take. Are you ready for it?
Oh, okay.
What's your thoughts on the VTube community at the moment?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have a great answer for this one, purely because I'm still very new to the community. I didn't really get I didn't really engage with it at all, to be honest, until Yomi started saying that she was going to get into it. But I will say, like, everyone I've actually interacted with, like, as part of it, has been wonderful. Like, I'm sure, like with any community, it's going to have its bad apples and whatnot, but as far as the individuals that I've met so far along this journey, I don't think I've got anything unpleasant I could say about them if I tried to. Everyone's been really pleasant, really supportive. It's always really fun seeing the different creative models and things that people come up with for themselves, and I think it's just great. I'm just excited to be part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited about it too. It's really cool. I like seeing more new things. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There's going to be some toxicity going on. Like, I know there's that one issue that I'm not even going to talk about. But let's say there was that issue about that one designer who made a pretty big mess up when someone offered to get designed about that model, and that design of that model was a very specific color.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Not touching it with a 10-foot pole, but there's stuff like that goes on in the community, and people are just lashing on it. And he's like that's why I can't see myself as like that big into the VTube community, because I don't like jumping onto bandwagons like that, because I'm the kind of person to just like step back, let all that kind of fire goes out there.
I think when it comes to any kind of quote-unquote community, I think there's always that kind of level where it's healthy to keep yourself slightly distanced from it. Like, you can enjoy it's a great example for this, actually. How often have you heard someone talk about something like, say, Undertale, for example?
Yeah.
Where they'll say, I want to like Undertale, but I hate the fan base. Or Attack on Titan, I want to get into that, but the fans are so annoying. I think anyone that is too involved in a community and like too deep down the rabbit hole, as it were, I think there's always a risk that that kind of enthusiasm can end up being warped in a way that isn't healthy necessarily. I think it often comes from a place of, deep fondness, or that kind of feeling of this thing I like is being threatened potentially. But again, I understand where it comes from. I think that's it with any community. I think it's good to get yourself immersed, but it's good to know when you're going too far off the deep end, if you know what I mean.
Yep, 100%. You just need to know that it's always toxic eggs in all communities, and you can be engrossed into a community, but you don't need to be super engrossed in the community, because I'm in a lot of different communities, and I have been engrossed into a lot of communities, but I've never been so gross into it that it changes my viewpoints on something. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah, like it's okay to be aware of drama within something that you're passionate about. But there's a difference between saying to someone, "Oh, I heard that so and so said X, Y, Z about whatever," and being the guy standing on the sideline throwing eggs at them and booing and hissing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a difference between that. It kind of switches. And that's why, like, we can talk about it, but like, I just don't want to wring my dirty laundry out in public and like, this is my opinion on this thing that's going on. I'm like, oh, if someone brings it up or someone talks about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. I think this. That's it, you know.
I do like being able to have mature discussions about certain topics with people, but I understand that there's a very big difference between having a one-on-one discussion with someone in a Discord channel or whatever, and just throwing out your take into the ether of Twitter and hoping that people don't burn you alive for it.
Exactly. Again, a very certain person who ever watches this video, the difference between having a conversation with another person and talking about it than just wringing your dirty laundry out on social media posts for only your community to see and thinking you're right in that community,
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Yeah, me and Rust. Yeah, that's me and League of Legends, because
oh no, you're in League of Legends, are you?
Yeah, it's just a little
my
bit.
sincerest condolences. I hope that it gets better for you soon.
It's starting to. I haven't had time to play it, so I actually don't play it more. So now whenever I do play it, or whenever I do have a craving to play it, I usually only just play ARAM, which is just like a 15-minute like randomized character pool that you just jump in, play, and just jump out. So I'm not in the sweaty ranking system like I used to be. So.
I have a friend who's the exact same, actually. He used to play League. He got really tilled at how hard it was and how bad he was doing. And these days he doesn't play it very much, but when he does, it's always ARAM.
Yep, I just jump in.
Time in the League Gulag. I ranked for a while, and I was satisfied with crawling out of bronze into silver. That was my achievement. But to be entirely fair, though, I was playing Tom Kench top, so I was kind of asking for trouble.
You're a torch laner. That's scary. That's scary right there.
I mean, top laner in air quotes. I mean, I played Tom Kench top because at the time he was quite abusable with top lane. This was before they swapped his R and his W. Back when Devour was on W, so you could do that at level 2.
Yeah.
You'd often run into the Darius who thinks, this city player brought a support to top laner. They go all in on you level 2, and it turns out no, Tom actually had a much better level 2 than you did.
Yep, they're great. I love it. It's so good. I know it was good times. I don't play it very much anymore, and I would like to get back into it, but I just don't have time.
Yeah. I mean, I joke about the game, but at the end of the day, whatever you're having fun with, don't let someone else tell you you shouldn't.
Exactly. That's me with Genshin, no matter what the content creators say about it. Exactly.
Maybe with Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know much about it, but, I'm pretty sure if you enjoy it, go for it. And as someone who used to work at a video game store, we are not allowed to judge anyone for their taste of video games. Even if it's Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty, we don't judge. Out loud. Oh no, we judge immensely as soon as they walk out of there. They were like, freaking really? He's buying every single Madden game since it came out. Really?
I remember there was a big hoo-ha about, I forget whether it was Madden or a different one of those games, where one year they released the yearly version of it. And people had always been joking about how, each year the sports games are just the same game, but they just changed the name on it. And it turned out in this case that was literally what they'd done, because the executable file for the PC version, when it crashed, it was named last year's version.
Yep. No, 100%. Like that's the a lot of people made the jokes about it, but that was the first year they're like, wait, are you really? Like, is this really true? Are you actually just making the same game and just recoloring and putting the new skins on it? And that's how they got caught.
It's kind of crazy because like you'd think a sports game would be like the ideal candidate for like a season pass or a DLC model, right? But I suppose in the same vein, if people are just going to buy the new game either way, you might as well, right?
Well, here's the stupid thing about this, okay? Okay, ready? And I've been in a lot of fights with people about sports games, and to me, to this day, I'm sorry, Rota. If you're a sports game fan, I feel bad for you, only because sports game fans are like the easiest to scam. Because think of it like this, okay? You play a Yu-Gi-Oh game, right? And you play it for a whole year. What if after that year, all your cards disappear and you have to start brand new?
You know what's really funny you say that? That's actually how certain other card games work.
Really? Really?
So I don't know the exact how often they do it, but Pokemon and Magic the Gathering actually have what they call rotations, whereby every now and then they will just say, okay, these cards are no longer legal, these cards are. So all your old cards are no longer legal for the main formats. Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of an exception to that because in Yu-Gi-Oh cards stay legal until they get banned. So you can be in situations where you can play cards from like 1999 in the same deck as a card from 2024. Not going to be good, but you can do it, and it does kind of sometimes make some issues. But no, I do get the point you're making, though.
Yeah, because with Madden, it's not just that these cards are banned, so you can't play them. It's more like they're not banned, you just can't play them, and you gotta buy them again. And that's what Ultimate Team is about: is that you lose everything that you paid money for, and then you have to start over again for the next game. And that to me is insanely dumb. Like, how are people getting away with that? Imagine if live service was like that. What if I was playing Genshin and I rolled all these waifus, and then next year Genshin just says, okay, all your purchases, all your waifus are gone, and you have to now roll again for the next year.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right. I think one thing to bear in mind is you saying like sports games fans are easiest to scam. I don't disagree with that, honestly. I think one thing that you need to consider is that the average sports game fan, and again, the average, I'm obviously not saying everyone, but the average sports game fan isn't necessarily what you think of as quote unquote a gamer. Like a lot of people that are big into sports games, they might only buy like 1 or 2 games a year. So because they're not as well versed in the media and how a lot of games do things, they might not even realize how bad they're being ripped off because they don't know what the alternatives are.
No, 100%. And like I will always look at them as like,
yeah. It's like if you go to McDonald's and every time you go to that one McDonald's, the staff slap you around the face, you're going to be really confused when you go to a different McDonald's and you don't get your slap.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, are you supposed to slap me before you order my food? What are you talking about? That's not something we do here.
Yeah, exactly.
Friggin' what?
It's kind of funny though, like, because I mean that definitely happens. I remember when in Final Fantasy XIV they have what they call free companies, which are kind of their version of guilds, if you like. And I remember someone that joined our guild at the time. They said to us like, "Oh, where do you want us to put our dues?" And we're like, "What do you mean dues?" And they said, "Our last guild demanded that we had to give them 20% of all the gold we earned." And we're like, "That's actually insane. No, that's not a thing. That's never been a thing. You got scammed." But it's just that thing where if you don't know the alternative, you could fall into those traps.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's just like that's why like, why don't sports games do the live service kind of models? It's like, well, because they do something a lot worse and makes them a lot more money.
The thing I find weird about that is I wonder if it does, right? Because if you're buying like a $60 game every year or $70 maybe game, considering that they've got to print the games, like they've got to make the physical cases, you'd think it would pay them better to just make it like DLC as full price, you know?
Well, actually,
what do I know? I'm not in the industry.
well, as someone who dabbles in the industry a little bit, just as that's my hobby, is the thing is that they make so much ridiculous amount of money. The highest grossing games has been like FIFA and like Call of Duty. Those are the highest grossing games of all time.
Oh yeah.
And the reason why they do that is because literally people have to roll, and that's the culture. That's the thing. That's the culture that they made about the game. Is that you just will have to buy the game, and you will have to spend a lot of money on the ultimate team points so you can get all your cool stuff, so you can be high ranked and be good and high level. It's like if we played,
Yeah.
it was like if we played Tekken, and we know that the only way you can play Tekken and beat Tekken is if you got the game for $70, but there's no fighters in the game at all, and you have to buy every single character to get too good at that game, and kind of
Yeah.
situation. So it's
Yeah,
really,
no, I get you.
yeah, so it's really bad, and just having them like make the entire like culture around it work is so ridiculously evil that they can pull that off. But luckily, FIFA, the one being the most grossive sports games out there, actually had to stop because they lost the rights for their name. Did you hear about that?
Oh.
Because
No, I
apparently,
didn't.
because FIFA its own name. FIFA is just soccer,
Yeah, it's the
and
organization, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and EA bought the rights to use FIFA as the title and then use their game to make for it. But then FIFA went up to EA and was like, "Hey, if you want to use our title again, you have to give us $1 billion." And EA was like,
Right.
"No, we don't want to do that." And so they decided to change their name to Football Club.
Ah,
Yeah, and
that's
yeah.
certainly a name you can go with, I suppose.
yeah, so they thought they could still keep that culture and keep all the profits, but not have the name behind it. But here's the thing: everywhere in the world associates that culture to FIFA. They don't associate it with Football Club. So even no matter how hard they try to make Football Club look like FIFA, people didn't jump on
doesn't have the
it.
brand
It doesn't have the
recognition,
background recognition, and they lost millions and millions of dollars of profit from that kind of situation. So it's kind of hilarious that they finally became too proud of their whole situation, and they fell super hard.
Yeah, that's crazy. It reminds me of a similar situation that happened a while back, actually. Are you familiar with what happened with Harvest Moon?
Oh, with Harvest Moon's the rights for it, and then switched over to Story Seasons.
Story of Seasons,
Yep.
yeah. It's basically the same sort of deal. Although I think, thankfully, because Harvest Moon is more of a niche title anyway, so people that were interested in it were following it. I think people got the message on that one. I think people know that they want to go after Story of Seasons instead now.
Yep, 100%. And now, and it seems like there is actually fandoms for both sides. Some people like the old school Story Seasons because they were just like Harvest Moon, so they will go to their like loyal list and stay with Harvest Moon. But then there's people who actually enjoy the new Harvest Moon and the way it's doing their thing, and so now they're going to that. So it's kind of made its own like audience.
It's kind of a win-win situation there, I think.
I think that's what they like wish all the rest of the companies could do when they branch off to different ones. Which I think is the one. That's the only like scenario I can think of that's actually worked out in their benefit.
Yeah.
What do you say? Mobile games make me mad because they are all cash grabs. You're not wrong. Like I of all my mobile games I play and all the games I put money into, like Fate Grand Order.
Oh, fellow Fate Grand Order player.
Yeah.
I did my time in that one. That was my one. That was the one gacha game that I let myself get sucked into, and I let myself spend money on. And I definitely spent way more on that game than I should.
Yeah, and it's like the worst like mobile game to get into because unlike Genshin, where there's a pity system that after you spend a certain amount of money, they at least like, here, you can have this freebie. After you gave us like hundreds of dollars. Well, they don't have it anymore, right?
So I stopped playing a couple of years back, but a couple of my friends still play it. There is a pity system now, but it's still it's not a good pity system. You have to put a lot in to get it.
It's so bad. It's so bad. At least when I
Yeah.
first played it, there was no pity system. So you literally
Yeah, for the
you
longest time that you are right, there wasn't. Yeah.
yeah. So like I only like I actually stopped playing it and I actually got pissed off because there's been one character that always comes out at the end of every single year. I've always put money in to try and get her, and she never freaking gets pulled. And I pull
Who's
every
that?
other. I forgot her name, but she's she's the visitor. She's like the Altair kind of character. She's like she's the painter who does the crazy like Japanese like
Oh, Hokusai.
yeah. I always want to get her
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
just
yeah.
love her design. I love anything Japanese, by the way. I don't know if you tell, but I love that kind of like the character. So I've always wanted to pull her. I could never ever pull her. And so each and every year, I'm trying to spend a little money to pull her. And one year, I actually put like $100 into her and did not get her. So I uninstalled the game. And then I realized I was like, shoot, I don't have that code, so
Oh no.
I can't get the game ever again. And then finally, I just like I don't know why, but my body was like, I can't just put all this money and time into a game and just not have anything to show for it anymore. So I went into the customer service and I got my game back. But I had to
Oh,
go through
nice.
all that rigmarole to like get that
Yeah,
game
all the
back.
hoops.
And now it's just sitting in my phone. The count is back, and I just log in for dailies, and that's it. That's all I do.
That was me for the longest time, honestly, and I cut myself off on that because I forget where I heard this, but someone like mentioned this to me, and I was like, yeah, you're right. Which was it's good to learn when you're not playing a game anymore because it's not fun, but you've built the habit up.
Hmm.
Because that's what these mobile games try to do. All these like login bonuses and whatnot, like they're all and daily quests. They're designed to form a habit, and I definitely fell victim to that. Like for the last like year and a half, when I was playing Fate Grand Order, I was basically just logging in, getting my login bonus. Sometimes I didn't even do any daily quests, and I just call that good.
Yep.
And then I'm like, why am I still doing this? I don't even play the game. I'm just in the habit for no reason, and I did feel good when I did eventually cut myself off from it. I enjoyed my time at the beginning. I do think, as far as like experiences go, it's a pretty decent one as far as gacha games go. But I would have been way happier if I just spent like $60 on it, got the full game, could just unlock the characters from playing it, and it just was a game I could play start to finish. It's one thing I really wish the game industry would do more of. Whenever I see like a really interesting looking game, like, oh, this has got some really cool characters or an interesting setting, and it's a gacha game, so my interest just completely evaporates. Like,
Yeah.
just make a game.
Yeah.
Make a game that just has a start, a middle, and an end. We don't have to have everything be a live service.
Well, that's how they make all the money. You know, that's the worst thing about it. Is like you're right. If Fate Grand Order was just a $60 game and you just have to unlock all of them, you're probably right. But then you probably would not get even close to that much of content, and we probably wouldn't get any of the anime, and we probably wouldn't get as many of the merchandise because that thing generates so much freaking revenue for whoever owns them that like they can't do it. And so now no wonder all these other companies are seeing this and like, oh, how much is it raking in? Oh hell yeah, we would jump on that, you know. So like it makes sense. It makes sense. It's funny when the West trying to copy off of that and they have no idea how to do it. It's just hilarious. It's like, wait, you can.
One thing. So I was going to say one thing that I think is really interesting is have you heard of a game that came out? I think it was like August last yearish, called Mega Man X Dive Offline.
No.
So Mega Man X Dive was a gacha game, right? And they announced that they were going to end the service. The game was over. But at the same time, they said, we're going to release on Steam Mega Man X Dive Offline. It's a one-time payment. There's no DLC. There's no gacha. You just buy the game. It's like $20 or something. And it is just the exact same game. You do have to start over, but you can unlock everything in the game by playing the game. And I'm just like, that's wonderful. I honestly hope that people take notice of it and that becomes the gold standard for how gacha games, what they do when they are eventually ending service.
Yep,
Like if
I
Fate
hope so
Grand
too.
Order ended tomorrow and they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to do Fate Grand Order complete on Steam. Give us £30 and you can unlock every servant by playing the game."
See,
I'd
I'd be
buy that
down for
immediately.
that. I would be so
Yeah,
down for that. Like if Genshin did that, oh my god, I'd
yeah,
be so
exactly.
down for that. Yeah, 100%, 100%.
It's crazy. I mean, I I don't know if any other games have done it, but granted, a lot of these live service games either don't last very long or go on forever. So I don't think there's been too many that have been going long enough where there would be a fan base for it. But I really do sincerely hope that when some of these long running ones do eventually end, that does become the retirement plan for the gacha games eventually.
Agreed, 100%, 100%. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed.
Sorry, Rota, I couldn't see you because you took away my glasses, so I didn't actually see what you were saying before. But let me go back to what you were saying. You're saying, bro, Ultimate Team did that to me. Dude, freaking sucks. I hate the way the sports games worked. That's why I stopped me from playing the game mode. That's why I just let me free packs roll, not buy anything. And like going back to what you were saying, Helm, is that yeah, I'm that's what I'm doing with my games right now. Is I'm just going in get the login bonuses and dip out because I'm in the naive mind that one day when I actually do travel and I do have a lot of time to kill, I can actually go into these gacha games and actually play the story and actually enjoy it because I do like the characters, I do like the combat, I just don't have time to play it. So eventually one day I will play the story, and when I do, I'll have all the best waifus, all the best waifus.
So is Hokusai your favorite one in Fate Grand Order?
No, my favorite is Okuta Alter.
Oh, okay. I never had her. I actually did get her regular form from like one of the New Year banners.
I got Okuta too. She's actually, I have a statue of her too.
Oh, nice.
And of course,
my one was Skaha. I have a small
Skaha is
shrine
good
on one of my shelves.
Nice. My shrine, I won't actually show it to you, but it's freaking, maybe I shouldn't say that as a shrine because I just forgot her name.
I tell your wife you can't remember her name.
I know, right? I'm terrible with names. I'm so terrible with names. Okay, I'm looking it up. Sorry, guys.
Fate was a different series.
It's Fate. It's the fox waifu. It's the fox. Of course, it's the fox. Yep, Tomo no Mai. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yep, Tomo no Mai will still always be like top tier waifu for me. Top tier.
That's fair. Funnily enough, I have when the summer event came out where she got like her summer swimsuit version. I was rolling on that banner not because I wanted to get her. I wanted one of the 4 stars, and I got her twice before I got one of the 4 stars. I was so close.
Wow! Like, I wanted the 4-star. You get 5 stars.
Yeah, I have really bad gacha luck unless it's something I don't want. I remember when one of the banners came out. I think it was the Babylon banner. I wanted one of the 4 stars from it. Again, it was the Medusa Gorgon, and in the same banner, they had Enkidu as a 5-star on Rate Up. I got 3 Enkidus before I got 1 Gorgon.
Wow.
I didn't even want Enkidu.
That reminds me, I tried to go for a character, and I got a Saber. I got just regular Saber. And I didn't want her, and I was like, what the frick? She wasn't even close to be on the rate up banner. So I look at the pull rates for her. She was 0.001% rarity. I was like, how the frick? Of all the characters I got her. Even though she was like the hardest character to get.
It's one of those task failed successfully moments.
I know, right? Jeez, oh my god. And also, my friend plays the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, and he's recovering. So I wish you luck. But no, very good. But hey, we actually going on to 3 hours. So
let's go.
I know, right? We're going for a long one. I love it. But let's get some these speeds. Nice. I love it. All right, so this one you might like a lot. What kind of music are you into? I'm guessing you're into techno, robotic.
It's kind of weird because I'm into like a very wide selection. I I'm one of those people that doesn't really. I don't tend to follow like a particular band or particular artist. I'll just like find bits and pieces of things that I like from certain people. So like maybe there's like one artist where I'll enjoy 3 of their songs, but I don't like the rest of their stuff. A lot of what I do listen to is typically stuff from video games or anime. Final Fantasy 14 is one of my favorite soundtracks because that has like so many different genres in it that there's all kinds of different things you can find in that. I also do quite like sort of like Vocaloid sort of stuff. Again, that's also very varied as well. But generally, I like stuff that's kind of very fast-paced. I like up-tempo music. Funnily enough, I like rhythm games, and when it comes to rhythm games, I always struggle on the slower ones.
Really?
Like the fast songs, I'm okay with. The slow ones, I get impatient and end up like hitting it too early most of the time.
You know what? I can't do rhythm games, so I respect you for that. I respect you for that.
I'm not like okay at them. I'm not like amazing, but I'm not like one of these people that you're going to see doing like full combo on like Project Diva or going insane on a DDR machine like that. But like I'm all right, you know. I'm like B tier maybe.
B tier. I got you.
Yeah.
Bold of you to assume. Yes, you're right. Bold of me to assume. Definitely. All right, no worries. Well, hey, let's get the next question. The next question is: have you noticed any changes from when you first started streaming compared to now?
Well, I haven't been streaming for that long, truth be told. I only really started in September of last year, so it's not been too long at it. I don't think I've really noticed anything in terms of how I've been doing things. I think I've been a bit more confident about it. Certainly when I first started streaming, I was very nervous, which I think is, a fairly normal reaction to it, to be honest. For the most part, though, no, I just kind of keep doing, like, people seem to like what I've been doing, and I don't feel like I need to impress anyone, for like a better way of putting it. Like I'm doing this as a hobby. This isn't like if I make, if people want to give me like donations or whatever, that's wonderful. Obviously, I appreciate it all, but it is just a hobby. I'm not trying to necessarily make this into a career. So I'm just kind of like doing what I enjoy, and the fact that other people seem to enjoy it as well. That's just kind of the bonus, Yeah,
I like that. That's a good way to do it. It's a very healthy way to do it. Just you enjoy what you're doing. People like it, then they like it. If they don't, then
exactly, yeah. It's like I'm doing it for myself first and foremost.
Perfect. That's a good way to do it. And that's what you should always do. And I think most people should be doing it that way as well. It's definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Like I say, do what you enjoy, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly. Yep. And like that's kind of how I was thinking about when it comes to me being a content creator. Is that I want to make sure that the things that I do comes natural and not too difficult to do, so that if something does happen where like I get like popular, I'm able to make money off of this kind of stuff like that, I don't change too much of what I'm already doing, And that way I can have that, I have that more work-life balance kind of stuff things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you.
And
it's
I'm having
kind of
fun.
That thing where it's like if you come into it and you're like really putting on too much of a persona or an act, you've now got to keep that up constantly, yeah?
Yep, 100%. Which, like, some people can do that. Good on them. For me, I'd rather just be more myself.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of funny when you do occasionally see certain like streams or VTubers where that is a thing that they've done, and you kind of notice it. Like, one of my favorite VTubers, another inspiration, Calliope Mori. It's very funny when you go back and watch some of her earlier streams, because her voice is definitely a little bit more high-pitched, a little bit more cutesy anime girl, and now she's just like, no, I don't care.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't care about this. I'm good. Nope, I agree with 100%. And there's some VTubers I've had on my show that's actually one of the first questions I always ask is, do you kayfabe? Like, do you have a persona that you have to go for? This is because that will determine the kind of stream we go for. Because some people do kayfabe, and I usually do not break up. It's like, instead of asking you, hey, what's the inspiration of your model? We just say, hey, what do you like most about yourself? And kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess
Let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So those kind of things
I,
you
I,
gotta change.
I try to keep up the kayfabe for the most part, but it's not like it's a hard commitment on my part. Like
Yeah.
I'm never pretending that I'm not streaming.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why like whenever I hear this the whole funny thing, like the lore, the character design, and then what the VTuber actually acts like when they're actually on stream. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the three dragons is hilarious. I love it. I love that meme. But yeah, no, it's good. If you can do the kayfabe, go for it. Have fun, enjoy yourself. Because you do it because you have
Yeah.
fun. And when it turns into more of a chore, then just turn it off and just be
Yeah,
relaxed.
exactly. Yeah.
Cool. I like it. Okay, next one. What's your favorite video game or video game franchise?
Ooh, okay. Well, I did bring up the Unholy War earlier. That obscure PS1 game. That's definitely one of my favorite video games for certain.
Mm.
As far as franchises go, I think I have to legally say Final Fantasy. But the reason why I say legally is because I have played every game in the Final Fantasy franchise. I haven't finished all of them, but every mainline Final Fantasy game I have played in some capacity, and I always, pay attention to what the franchise is doing. But the main reason why I think I legally have to say it is because on Final Fantasy XIV specifically, according to Steam, and this is slightly lowballing it because when I first started 14, I was on PS3 at the time. My Steam time says I've got 10,218 hours played in that game.
Wow.
I will save you the maths for that. That is 425 days.
Wow.
That's time played.
You played over a year.
That's not saying like you've spent 425 unique days playing the game. No, that is in terms of raw hours.
Just raw hours. A year.
Yeah,
over a
it's a pretty
year.
good game, it's all right.
Yeah, I like it. I recommend it. Sure, go for it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's
My
meh.
chat do quite like when I do the meme. Do you know the free trial meme of Final Fantasy 14?
No.
It was this meme that did the rounds about a year or so ago, where they were talking about the free trial for FF14, and it just kind of captured the internet's imaginations to the point where they kept like repeating it word for word because it was very long. So the meme is, hey, did you know the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV has an unlimited free trial up to level 60, including both A Realm Reborn and the award-winning expansion Heavensward, with no limitations on playtime? It's actually kind of out of date now. They actually expanded the free trial to 70 recently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Hashtag
But
not sponsored. Hashtag could be sponsored. Hashtag call me Square Enix. Let's talk.
would love to be sponsored. Would love to sponsor. You should be sponsored. You should be sponsored. Reach out to Square Enix. Do it. People. Then that way become so famous and so sponsored, and they will actually put your model into the game.
Oh, darn, that would be the dream. I'm not going to even pretend. That would be the dream.
That would be the
I mean,
dream.
they have sponsored some VTubers. I think some of the Hololive girls actually did get sponsored by them briefly.
That'd be kind of cool. I can see it. Definitely. If you could live in any video game world, no matter how, like a video game or anime world, what world would you like to live in?
That's a tough one. Not Final Fantasy for certain, because those things are very dangerous. It's kind of like an awkward thing because I don't see myself as a main character. Like, I feel like if I was in a video game or anime world, I wouldn't be the shonen protagonist with, like, the cool powers. I'd be just, like, the background character, just kind of minding their own business for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, I think I do have a good answer for this, actually, now I think about it. Are you familiar with it's a bit of an old one now. Are you familiar with Chobits?
Chobits, yeah, I know Chobits. Yeah.
I think Chobits would be a good one.
It's
basically just modern day world, except your computers are anime girls.
Yeah.
Win-win.
Perfect. It would be really weird to stream on that, though.
I think it'd be fantastic. You could have your computer. You could run your streaming software on your computer, and your computer can be the streamer with you.
I know, right? like, literally, this computer would just be an anime girl sitting here, just being like,
yeah.
If it was because it's a gaming PC, it probably would have her like playing a video game with her. I see it. Wait, what? Yeah, Chobits. Look it up. Chobits.
Yeah, very old school anime. It's kind of a romantic comedy. It's by the same group that did Cardcaptor Sakura.
It's adorable. So adorable.
It is really like the art style is very cute, very adorable. And literally, the whole premise is it's just a modern day setting where computers are just basically robots, like anime girls and anime boys. And one day, this guy who can't afford one finds one in the garbage. And it turns out he's found a very special one. And that's kind of where it all picks up from. It's a very good watch. It's kind of got like sort of like slightly pervy comedy moments, but never like too problematic.
Yeah, it's like there's some like lewd moments, but nothing like too revealing because it's a wholesome kind of thing, you know. It's nothing.
Yeah, it is very wholesome. It's not necessarily something you'd want to watch with your parents, but it's something you could watch in polite company, I think.
Yep, agreed, 100%, definitely. Cool, I like it. That'd be good. That's an answer I've never heard of, so that's really cool. Cool, awesome. If you could collab with anyone, no matter how big or small they are, who would you like to collab with?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Well, I mean, I feel like, obviously Yomi, but I mean, that's gonna happen at some point. We haven't actually, again, scheduling. We haven't found the time to actually work that out for ourselves. But obviously, I do want to collab with Yomi at some point in the future, and that's not really a if, that's more of a when. But like, if we're talking like the dream collab, I think I would. Well, I want to say Callie, like Calliope Mori, but at the same time, I don't know that I would be able to maintain my composure and just resist the urge to just like fangirl out over her. Being entirely honest. That is kind of the thing, like, as I've said a few times, I do get a bit anxious in, like, social anxiety. And when it comes to, like, big VTubers, like, I'd love to collab with some of them, but I would always feel really anxious about approaching someone like that, you know? Like, I know that they are just people like you and I, but my mind can't divorce that, you know, and I can't get over that fact that this is someone that's famous, this is someone whose opinion matters, this is someone that people look up to. They're going to care what this person's about. I don't want to mess this up. Like, I'd be running a mile a minute in my process of trying to make sure that I don't ruin things, and I'd probably overthink things and make things bad.
I can see that.
Honestly, though, like, I'd be happy to collab with anyone. Like, if anyone wants to collab with me, I'd be more than happy to if someone wants to hit me up for anything, really. My big issue is I'm anxious about approaching people, but if someone wants to come to me, I'm usually up for it.
Cool. I like to hear that. Maybe I'll reach out to you if you want to play something, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I want to do a top tier list robot waifus. We'll do it. We'll think of something. If you have any goals that you like to accomplish in your streaming career?
Well, as I said before, I'm mostly doing this as a hobby, so I haven't really set myself any like goals in terms of like accomplishments. Honestly, like the fact that I got affiliate is kind of about as high of a bar as I imagined setting for myself, and you know, without wanting to brag, I kind of got that like about as quick as I could. I was not expecting that to happen. Definitely think that was part of following Yomi around. Not like in the sense of like riding her coattails, but like, you know, she helped introduce me to people and such, you know. I guess long term, like, I just want to kind of keep doing what I'm doing. If eventually, like, I end up making enough money off this where I could turn it into, like, something that would, you know, significantly supplement my income, then, like, that would be wonderful. But I like to try and keep my expectations grounded, you know. Hope for the best, expect the worst, if you know what I mean.
I see. Makes sense.
Yeah, so, like, if eventually, like, we end up getting, you know, God knows if we get like partner or something eventually, that would be wonderful. I certainly would not complain about that. But it's not like I'm going to be trying to, you know, I'm not trying to grind myself to get that. That's not where we're at. This is just a hobby that I'm trying to have fun with, and anything off that is just, you know, just bonus points.
Yeah, bonus points. That's what we like about it. And you'll definitely get some really good like amazing things as you continue doing what you do, as long as you enjoy yourself by doing it.
I've already got an amazing community forming already.
Exactly, and as long as you have that, then you're really good. Did I hear a Dokkan? A Dokkan? Oh, Will, you get away. You missed it. You missed our Genshin talk, your mobile game talk. And now the end is near.
That's all right. You just have to watch the VOD later in its entirety.
Yeah, exactly. You have to rewatch it. But yeah, no, I totally agree. Enjoy the things you enjoy, and then things will follow. I like it. Hey, are you ready for the final question of the night?
All right, final question. Lay it on me. What we got?
Cool. This is my favorite question of the entire night, and that is, do you have any advice that you'd like to give to anyone who might be starting out on streaming or even VTubing?
Ooh, that's a good one. All right, well, I do. And again, I apologize that I'm mentioning her again. A lot of this was stuff that Yomi helped teach me. I'm sorry that I'm bringing
It's
her up so much.
no,
He's
go
like-
for it. Bring it up. Like Yomi's an awesome
I
person.
know, it's like I'm turning into the Yomi show. Few things I would definitely say that Yomi passed on to me. First one is, first off, try it. You know, before you sink loads of money into getting like a fancy model or whatever, which this is one of those instances of do as I say, not as I do, because I did. Me and Yomi both did get models before we even tried streaming, so there was always that risk that you could try it and not enjoy it. The model I've got was not particularly expensive, but it's good enough. I'm happy with where the model's at, to the point that I'm not worried about replacing it anytime soon. But if I had spent as much on the model and it hadn't worked out, it was an amount that I was okay with taking that L, as it were. But make sure if you are going to do something like it is money that you are effectively prepared to throw down the toilets. You know, if you save up for months and spend $2,000 on a state-of-the-art model, and then you sit down in front of a camera and realize actually you don't like this, well, that's $2,000 you're not getting back. I mean, I've seen posts where people will sell their model on and all their assets. You're not going to make back even close to what you paid for it, that's for sure. Otherwise, just try it. You know, sit yourself down in front of a camera. Even if you don't do it on stream, record yourself doing like a mock stream, maybe. You know, find a game that you like, try playing it, and see if you can fill a couple of hours of dead air with just you talking to hypothetical chat, because obviously you wouldn't have any chat, and see if you enjoy that. Obviously, it's very different when you've got chatters, you know, when people are being active in chat, but you've always got to bear in mind, there are times when that doesn't happen. You know, you might have periods where people are being quiet in chat, or, you know, it might be a bit of a slow day. It happens to everyone. So definitely trying to like dip your toes in a bit to see if you enjoy it is what I would say is the most important thing.
Agreed.
The other thing, which I touched on a little bit earlier in the night, was the dead air thing. Don't leave dead air, because everyone's going to be every stream could be someone's first impression of you, and you do not want that first impression to be you sitting there staring into the camera completely silently playing a video game, not acknowledging chat, you know, or not giving chat any reason to stay. If you're just sitting there playing a game, even if you're playing it well, unless you're playing like world record pace speedruns or something, you're probably not going to be captivating chat with the gameplay alone. There's plenty of other places on the internet where you can find gameplay. You need to get chat to want to stay for you. You should be the main draw. The game's secondary. So I think, just overall practicing and being aware of the fact that, I think, at least in my personal opinion, I'm by no means an authority on the subject, but I think being able to just fill the air and carry the conversation with no one, and make sure that every moment could be someone's first impression of you that they will find a positive one, is something that you should try to practice if you can before you get into it. Otherwise, though, just have fun with it. Don't force yourself into doing things you don't enjoy. Don't feel like, oh, everyone's doing this new game, I need to do that to follow the trend. If you want to do that, great, but people know when you're not enjoying yourself. As someone that has DM'd Dungeons and Dragons games when I was really not in the headspace for it, they know, the players know, your chat will know. If you're playing a game and you're not enjoying yourself, the chat will know, and you're not going to be having a good time. Because you're not having a good time, they're not going to be having a good time.
True.
And if neither of you are having a good time, what are we doing here? You know, do what makes you happy first and foremost, and the positivity will rub off on everyone else.
True. I agree with every single thing you said, and that's actually a really good summary of like actually just going into those kind of things. Start up small, see if you like it. If you do like it, then practice being a streamer first and being a good content creator. Because like we've talked about before, the VTuber model brings in the people, but they only stay for your personality. So
exactly,
if you can have the most expensive model in the world, but if you're boring, no one's gonna stay. So definitely make sure you keep that up, because maybe back in the day when VTubing was first started off, there's a lot of people who were able to get a huge following just because they had a VTuber model. But you definitely can't do that right now. Like, it's way too big and a lot more popular than it was before. So just having a really good model is not just the only thing you can do. You have to actually do other things.
Exactly, yeah. Like back when Live 2D was like in itself this amazing draw, that's one thing, but like, well, you know, it's not hard to get Live 2D sorted these days. Obviously, there's a skill to making a really nice Live 2D model, but it's not like there's not like some high barrier to entry for it.
Exactly. So like you can do that kind of stuff, but you also need to be a character and play it off and enjoy yourself, and also make sure that you are you have that talent to be able to like take control of a crowd and like be entertaining kind of stuff. Not everyone can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So see if you like it.
If you do want to get into it without spending like loads, because again, I do recommend don't put any money into it up front that you're not prepared to lose. PNG tubers are perfectly valid. Like PNG tubers are VTubers too. I know a couple of PNG tubers who are lovely people.
Well, yeah,
some of them are graduating to live 2D models eventually. But because they didn't, you know, go in hard with it first, they could get their kind of audience built up a bit more. And if anything, it kind of helps build a bit of hype. When you've already got an audience as a PNG tuber, you go to the live 2D, someone's like, oh, heck yeah, my PNG tubers now all like moving and stuff. That's awesome, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's a hype moment.
It's a hype moment. It's the best moment. It's the best moment.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, before we end off the stream, I do have one more spin that would like to throw. But hey, while we get the spin, that's all the questions I have, all the ones I have for you. So thank you for answering every single one of those questions. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course.
Now, for you, the last spin is an ideal date. Do you have an ideal date for the robot Maid?
That's an awkward one because I've actually never been on one.
Really? What? What?
Yeah.
What would be a date that you would like to go?
So, I feel like I'd want something not too fancy. I'm not the most adventurous sort. I do quite like theme parks. I think a theme park could be quite a nice one.
That's
but
a good
I think generally just like something where you can get a chance to kind of something where the activity isn't what's the word I'm looking for here? Like dominating the proceedings. Yeah, because although I love theme parks, if you go to a theme park, most of it's going to be about the theme park, you know? It's not like, you know, when you're on a roller coaster or a log flume, it's not exactly conducive to having a conversation and getting to know each other. Similarly, I've heard stories of people that have been on, what's like the word? Like mixers, where you go to like a board game night. You know, like you all sit down, play board games together. And that, again, I enjoy board games. I think board games are great. But in the same vein, I feel like I would be more worried about the rules of the game and of like playing the game than actually engaging with other people. So maybe something even as just as simple as like a nice dinner would be pretty nice, I think. Just a nice dinner, go back to their place and just get to know each other better. Something, you know, simple, really.
Very true, very true.
I like it because it's cheap as well.
Very cheap. Yep, cheap. I like it. I like it. Very good, very good. That's cool. Yep, I think that's a good date. It's a very good date. Very good. Will, do you have a joke for everyone? What is your joke? What is your joke? Let's hear your joke. But while we get that wrap,
some pretty great ones earlier. So
we had one.
Big shoes to fill.
Yep. What do you call a cop in bed? Oh, a sussy joke. Sussy joke.
Yeah, I know that one. That's a new one for me.
Oh.
Right, well, all eyes on you.
Yep. An undercover cop. That's a good one.
Okay, that's pretty good. Good.
I should have seen that coming too. I should have thought of that.
I'm kind of ashamed of myself that I didn't.
Very good job. Very good job, Will. And with that, we will end off our lovely VTuber interview. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Helm, for coming by and giving me your time and coming on my show.
No, of course, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me, and I hope that your audience have enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys all enjoyed it. It was a great time. It was a great, awesome time. Now, where can people find you? Where can people see where the Helm Chan is?
So we are, of course, on Twitch. I do have a Twitter. The Twitter isn't super active. It's kind of mostly just alerts because I don't have time to put many fancy things up on it. If you'd like to stay in touch the most, the best place would be through the Discord. There is a link available to it on my Twitch page. We've got lots of rooms for people to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! And other video games and whatever else you want to be talking about. That's the best way to find out when we're going live, the schedule, etc., etc.
Nice. I like it. Go check her out. Already followed her. Good job, Will. Good job.
Oh, thank
You
you.
like the content. Cool. Well, thank you guys all so much for joining in. Dev, go and check out Hellchamp. And then, of course, for those who are looking in chat, if you guys would like to check out a new VTuber each and every week, I do these interviews. The next one we'll be interviewing will be a bull VTuber, which is going to be at the end of this week. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be really cool. So hopefully you guys should want to check that out. But until then, I hope you guys all have yourself a amazing day. Before I let you go, I wanted to give out the opportunity to let the guests pick the raid. Would you like to raid someone? Now, I was looking at the two people that I think you would love to raid, and that's Yomi and San. So I'll give you, I'm pretty sure you would like to, maybe, I don't know, something tells me you probably want me to raid Yomi. So,
Yomi is trying really hard right now to get partner, so I want to try. I've been trying to give her every chance I can to kind of raid into her and just give her some more love. So
cool.
I'd love to raid into Yomi.
All right, let's go raid into Yomi then right now. Well, hey guys, thank you so much. Give out the loves to Yomi. She definitely deserves it. She's also an amazing content creator, and I want to see her do more stuff. So let's go check her out and give her all the love. But until then, I hope you guys all have yourself a very nice day. Thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you. Take care, Quickie. Take care, Will. And of course, Helm. It's a pleasure to work with you, and pleasure to have you on my show.
No, pleasure to be here. You have a wonderful evening.
You did too. And don't leave Discord yet, okay?
Okay.
Cool. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye.